Chapter 475. Due to the remote location of the bedlam, it was quite a distance away from the vanquishing army empire. Jiyu was carried by Xiao Jiyu, and it took almost a day to reach the bedlam. At this moment, in front of Jiyu was a small and broken city wall. It gave off an ancient aura. Broken city walls were everywhere. All of them were only a few dozen meters long. He did not know what had happened here before. Why did it become like this? Ding. Host has taken a step. Upper Earth rank movement technique shadowless lightning flash gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Upper Earth rank movement technique shadowless lightning flash gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Jiyu walked step by step through the ruins. Poor wanderers could be seen everywhere. There weren't many houses in the vicinity that were barely habitable. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Jiyu used his soul strength to sense. He found that most of the wanderers were only at the tempered body realm, and there were not many who were at the defensive profound realm. At this time, Jiyu was wondering if he had come to the wrong place. Was this really the bedlam? Jiyu took out the map and looked at it carefully again before he found his current location. He then found that he had accidentally wandered into the slums of the bedlam. Moreover, this slum was the ruins of a small city. Jiyu casually found a local poor person and asked about it before she found out. 100 years ago, this small city was invaded by the people of the bedlam. They burned, killed, looted, and plundered everything. The few who survived did not know where to go because this place was too remote. Most of the survivors chose to stay here and prolong their lives. The small number of people who managed to escape might have been killed by the poisonous insects and exotic beasts on the way. Fortunately, after the invasion 100 years ago, this place was almost completely plundered. The people of the bedlam no longer cared about this place, and very few people came here again. The survivors all sold everything they had, and even tore down the city walls to exchange for money from the merchants who passed by. Until now, that was why the city walls looked like they were in sections, not neat and short. In another 10 years, they would be torn down by the local poor people. Jiyu was not a kind person. The life and death of the poor people here had nothing to do with him. He would not use his own money to help these people he did not know. After asking, Jiyu casually threw a gold coin to the poor man he had just questioned. Looking at the gold coin in his hand, the poor man was overwhelmed. As of the poor people of the bedlam, he had never seen a gold coin before. "Thank you, young master. Thank you, young master," he hurriedly and gratefully. This one gold coin was enough for him to eat and drink well for a long time. "Young master, please wait a moment." But just as Jiyu was about to directly pass through the ruins, the poor man suddenly called out to him. "What else do you want?" Jiyu turned around and asked. "I have a secret that is not really a secret. I wonder if young master is interested." The poor man said in a small voice. He wanted to use this method to repay this young master's kindness. "Speak." Jiyu was really interested. In the ruins of the city lord's mansion, there are treasures left behind by the last city lord. The poor man said in a small voice, "It is said that at the last moment of the city's destruction, the last city lord sacrificed all of his lifespan to form a sealing formation, sealing all of the most precious treasures inside. Until now, no one has been able to break that seal, not even those invaders. But in fact, in addition to that sealing array, there is a weaker seal located under the ruins of the city lord's mansion. After more than 100 years of washing, that sealing array has become much weaker. For young master, breaking that sealing array shouldn't be a big problem. Other than me, not many people know about that sealing formation underground, and they will not easily tell outsiders. Although the treasures inside are quite ordinary, they are still good for young master. In any case, the poor man would not be able to break that sealing formation underground for the rest of his life, so he might as well tell this young master in front of him. Regardless of whether the other party was interested in those treasures or not, he would still repay the favor. As for those precious treasures in the sealing formation, he just mentioned them in passing. It was not that he looked down on this young master, but it had been more than 100 years, and no one had been able to break that sealing formation. After hearing the poor man's words, Jiyu became interested in that ceiling formation. He really wanted to see a formation that no one had been able to break after so many years. Then, Jiyu casually rewarded the poor man with 2 gold coins. The poor man was instantly moved to tears and was very grateful. Receiving 3 gold coins from this young master, he did not have to worry about making a living for a year. Chapter 476. According to what the poor man had said, Jiyu had arrived at the ruins of the city lord's mansion. Among the ruins, there was only one ancient building that was still standing strong. The building was surrounded by a formless array. This was clearly the ceiling array that the poor man had mentioned. Ding. Host has taken a look at the 5th grade ceiling array, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the 5th grade ceiling array. Jiyu had comprehended the 5th grade ceiling array at first glance. She had also comprehended the method to break the array. This ceiling array was able to prevent anything from entering the array's range. Other than breaking the array, the only way to break the barrier was through brute force. To break the barrier of the 5th grade ceiling array, one would need to be at least at the 5th level of the spirit profound realm. Although Xiao Jiyu was there, Jiyu did not want to rely on Xiao Jiyu unless she had no other choice. Although he needed to become a 5th grade array master to be able to break this array, he was not far from that now. Jiyu still remembered that the poor man had said that there was a weaker ceiling array under the ruins. Once he broke that weaker ceiling array, he might be able to break through to become a 5th grade array master with the help of the system. Thinking up to this point, Jiyu began to use her soul strength to sense the location of the ceiling array. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength gained experience, 1 by 999 times. In the next moment, Jiyu sensed that the weaker ceiling array was right under her feet. Ding. Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist art solitary slaughter fist art. Solitary slaughter fist art gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. The Earth rank inferior fist art solitary slaughter fist art has successfully broken through to the initial success realm. After that, Jiyu directly punched the ground under her feet and cracked it open. She even broke the ceiling array underneath. Ding. Host has taken a look at the 3rd grade ceiling array, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully comprehended the 3rd grade ceiling array. Ding. The host has cracked the 3rd grade ceiling array. Array formation attainment has gained 999 times the experience. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the inferior 5th stage array master. With the 999 times array formation mastery experience gained from cracking the grade 3 ceiling array, Jiyu instantly broke through to become an inferior grade 5 array master. This also meant that he could break open the grade 5 ceiling formation. But at this moment, the ground beneath his feet collapsed. Jiyu landed on the ground. It was a good opportunity to collect all the treasures hidden here, regardless of whether they were valuable or not. After going down, they found that there was a secret chamber below. Most of the things in the secret chamber were placed on the side, so only a few things were pressed down by the collapsed stones. Jiyu couldn't be bothered to care about the things that were suppressed. Ding. The host has activated the gold level spiritual power. The experience gained from the gold level spiritual power is 1 by 999 times. He immediately activated his spiritual power and stowed everything into his storage ring. Then, he jumped out of the big hole above. Jiyu then walked to the grade 5 ceiling formation from before and prepared to crack this grade 5 ceiling formation. Jiyu, I can break this thing with one punch. At this moment, Xiao Jiyu suddenly spoke. No need, I can do it myself. Jiyu smiled. A few minutes later. Ding. The host has cracked the grade 5 ceiling formation. The experience gained from the array formation attainment is 999 times the experience gained. Although the cracking method was a little troublesome, Jiyu's cracking speed was still very fast since she was familiar with the method. At this moment, the invisible barrier in front of her disappeared instantly. Jiyu could now enter. She directly pushed open the door and entered the building. She saw gold, silver, jewelry, pills, artifacts, formation diagrams, secret manuals, materials. There were all kinds of treasures everywhere. However, Jiyu didn't have the time to examine them carefully. She directly put them all into her storage ring. Ding! The host has activated the gold-level spiritual power. The experience gained from the gold-level spiritual power is 1 by 999 times. After putting away all the treasures, Jiyu left the building. It wouldn't be long before this building was torn down by the slums. At this moment, Jiyu had already left the ancient city ruins. According to the map, after leaving the ancient city ruins, she still had to pass through a desert before she could reach the only prosperous city in the Bedlam lands, the Bedlam city. In such a harsh Bedlam, the desert was naturally full of dangers. Not only did she have to be careful of poisonous insects and mutated beasts, but she also had to be careful of humans. After all, most of the humans in the Bedlam lands were extremely evil. There were very few slums like the ancient city ruins, as well as young talents like Jiyu who came here to train. People like Jiyu were naturally very few. After all, even a profound Ascension Realm cultivator couldn't guarantee their safety in a place like the Bedlam lands. Chapter 477. Ding! Host has taken a step. Earth rank superior grade shadowless lightning flash gained experience, 1 by 999 times. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, 1 by 999 times. While walking in the desert, Jiyu looked at the things he had received from the storage ring. Apart from those gold, silver, and jewelry that he didn't need to care about, he roughly swept through the rest of the items. Pills, formation diagrams, artifacts, and the like. Most of them were of the 3rd rank, and a few of them were of the 4th rank. There were also many profound rank and even earth rank mystic skills, cultivation methods, and secret techniques. The value of these treasures was very high, and there were so many of them. This time, Jiyu could be said to have struck it rich overnight. First, Jiyu took out 2 of the 4th rank artifacts from the storage ring. One was a long spear that flickered with silver light, while the other was a thin green robe made of special silk. These 2 were both of the 4th rank artifacts. The one that attracted Jiyu's attention the most was the long spear that flickered with silver light. Whether it was the spear or the handle, they were all silver. Actually, the most important thing was that he was very interested in the way of the spear. It was just that he had never had the opportunity to come into contact with the way of the spear. Let's call it the pure silver spear. Jiyu looked at the silver spear in his hand and thought to himself. Then, he looked at the thin green robe in his other hand. As for the other one, let's call it the thin green silkworm robe. Jiyu thought of a name for these 2 artifacts. Right at this moment, Jiyu suddenly realized that she had missed a piece of paper and had not noticed it. Only then did he realize that this piece of paper was somewhat familiar. Ding! Host has taken a look at the 3rd volume of the King Rank Cultivation Method Sky Splitter, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations host, you have successfully comprehended the 3rd level of the King Rank Cultivation Method Sky Splitter. Jiyu was pleasantly surprised. This piece of paper that he had accidentally found was actually the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter cultivation method. He had been stuck at the 2nd layer of the King Rank Cultivation Art Sky Splitter for a long time, and his physique had also stopped at the 9th grade spirit body. This time, his constitution finally broke through to the Shen body. The mysterious heavenly continents physiques were divided into the following categories: mortal physique, spiritual physique, mystic physique, monarch physique. Jiyu didn't know if there was a higher level of physique after that. The Shen body was above the spirit body. Now, Jiyu had automatically broken through from the 9th grade of the spirit body to the 1st grade of the profound body after comprehending the 3rd layer of the heaven splitter technique. Ding! Host has cultivated Shen Qi for 1 minute. Martial arts cultivation experience gained, 525 by 999 times. Ding! Host has cultivated Shen Qi for 1 minute. Martial arts cultivation experience gained, 525 by 999 times. Ji tried to cultivate for a while, and sure enough, her cultivation efficiency improved. Just as he was about to start upgrading the third stage of the sky splitter technique, he suddenly sensed that someone was rushing towards him from the side. Ding! Host has used spiritual perception. Spiritual perception experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Using his spiritual perception, he realized that it was a young woman being chased by a group of black-robed people. The young woman's cultivation was at the peak of the 9th grade of the defensive profound realm. The other group consisted of a young man and 4 middle-aged men. Apart from the young man who was only at the 9th grade of the defensive profound realm, the other 4 middle-aged men were all at the Tongxian realm. Although he didn't know the reason, the young woman was probably being chased. However, Ji didn't want to care about this trivial matter that had nothing to do with him. In a place like the Bedlam lands, almost everyone was an enemy. Meddling in other people's business wasn't a wise thing to do. Ji pretended that he didn't notice anything and continued to walk forward. As he walked, he prepared to upgrade his technique. Not long after, the young woman and the 5 black-robed people that Ji had just sensed appeared in his line of sight. The young woman and the 5 black-robed people naturally noticed Ji and Xiao Ji who was beside Ji. The young woman saw hope. Her eyes flashed as she charged towards the black-robed youth. After getting close to the black-robed youth, she directly hugged him. "What are you doing?" However, Ji blocked the young woman's head with one hand, preventing her from touching him. The young woman in front of him had fiery red hair, and her black clothes wrapped around her curvaceous figure. Her beauty was naturally top-notch. However, compared to the beauties that Ji had seen before, this young woman in front of him paled in comparison. "Husband, it wasn't easy for me to get that thing. Aren't you going to give me a hug?" At this moment, the young woman suddenly acted coquettishly and said. Hearing this, Ji couldn't help but be slightly stunned. What the hell was this? However, Ji quickly reacted. This woman was probably being chased by the 5 black-robed people because she had taken something. Now, she wanted to frame him so that she could escape. He glanced at the 5 black-robed people chasing after him. As expected, they also had a strong killing intent towards him. However, how could he let such a bad woman succeed? Chapter 478. Get Lost. Ji's face darkened. Ding. Host swept his leg. Low-grade yellow rank Gale Kick, experience gained, 1*999 Ding. Congratulations to the host, the inferior yellow-ranked Gale Kick has successfully broken through to the initial success stage. The kick was aimed at the woman's abdomen. The woman did not have time to react, let alone dodge. Cough. Blood spilled from the woman's mouth as she was sent flying. She fell to the ground and rolled a few times. She looked at Ji in shock. She did not expect this young man in black to suddenly attack. She also did not expect this young man in black to be so strong. Ji glanced at the woman with a cold and emotionless expression. He did not use any strength in that kick, and it was not something a mere peak level 9 defensive Mystic Realm person could withstand. Then, he turned and left. He left behind a sentence. "I have nothing to do with her. You can continue." When the 5 black-robed men heard this, they only grabbed the woman and did not dare to act rashly against Ji. Although they did not know where this young man in black came from and how he could subdue this woman so easily, it was fine as long as the item was still there. "Hand it over obediently." The young man among the 5 men in black grabbed the woman's hair and threatened her. The woman showed a pained expression. But in the next moment, her lips curled into a cold smile. Observing this, the 5 black-robed men immediately realized that something was wrong. *T. At this moment, they sensed that a group of people was rushing towards them in an aggressive manner. "Grab her, let's run," the young man hurriedly said. But it was too late. Soon, a group of people surrounded them. "Are these the reinforcements you called for?" The young man's face was covered in cold sweat as he asked the woman. Only then did he realize that the woman had escaped from his hands. The red-haired woman dragged her injured body to the group of people. The 7 Tongxian realm experts on horseback greeted her respectfully. But at this moment, they realized that there was something wrong with their miss. Miss, what happened to you? Why are you injured? Who did this? It must be those fellows from the Shu family. Let's go and avenge the young miss. The 7 immediately glared at the 5 black-robed men. Now is the time to run, the young man ordered. The other 4 black-robed men immediately fled with the youth. Chase. However, just as the 7 people were about to give chase, he was stopped by the red-haired woman. Cough, cough. Don't chase after him. It's fine as long as we get what we want. The red-haired woman coughed out another mouthful of blood. Her face was pale and weak. Miss, are you all right? The 7 of them had no choice but to obey and check on their young miss's condition. I'm fine. Someone else caused me to become like this. The red-haired woman explained. Who are they? Let's hurry up and bring the things back. We'll talk about it on the way back. At the same time, Jiyu was already far away. Naturally, he could sense that those people were all at Tongxian realm and above. If he wasn't mistaken, he should be that woman's accomplice. As for those 5 black-robed men, they were probably doomed. However, this matter had nothing to do with Jiyu. He couldn't be bothered to go back and deal with that woman again. Not long after, Jiyu encountered a 3rd-grade demonic beast that was equivalent to a human martial artist at Tongxian realm. It was a huge scorpion that was 2 to 3 meters long. Its stinger flickered with poisonous light. He didn't know the name of this demonic beast. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold-grade spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Jiyu took out the pure silver spear from the storage ring. He could use this poisonous scorpion to improve his spear Dao. Ding. Host has fired a shot. Basic spear technique experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Congratulations host, basic spear technique has successfully broken through to initial success realm. Ding. Congratulations host, basic spear technique has successfully broken through to mastery realm. Ding. Congratulations host, basic spear technique has successfully broken through to perfection realm. Ding. Congratulations host, basic spear technique has successfully broken through to peak of perfection realm. Ding. Detected that basic spear technique has reached perfection realm. Automatically upgraded to inferior yellow rank spear technique, psychedelic spear technique. Jiyu swung the spear in his hand and broke the poisonous scorpion's pincers. Although he didn't use much strength, the grade 4 artifact, the pure silver spear, was extremely sharp. It easily broke through the poisonous scorpion's tough skin. After the 2 pincers were broken, the poisonous scorpion lost one of its main means of attack. It could only use its stinger to attack Jiyu. Ding. Host has used inferior yellow rank spear technique, psychedelic spear technique. Psychedelic spear technique experience gained, 999 times. Ding. Congratulations host, inferior yellow rank spear technique, psychedelic spear technique has successfully broken through to initial success realm. However, Jiyu swung his spear again and broke the poisonous scorpion's tail. Chapter 479. This time, the scorpion's 2 main means of attack were gone. It had almost lost its ability to attack, and could only charge forward and bite. However, how could Jiyu give the scorpion a chance to bite him? Ding. Host has used the inferior yellow-ranked spear art hallucination spear art. Hallucination spear art obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations host, the inferior yellow-ranked spear art hallucination spear art has successfully broken through to the mastery level. On the 3rd shot, the pure silver spear in Jiyu's hand destroyed the scorpion's head. The scorpion's legs struggled a few times, but its head was already gone. It was too late. Not long later, the scorpion lost all signs of life. Its poisonous blood was corroding the desert below. After that, they encountered many 2nd and 3rd stage demonic beasts, but they were all destroyed by Jiyu's pure silver spear. Ding. Host has used the inferior yellow-ranked spear art hallucination spear art. Hallucination spear art obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Host has used the inferior yellow-ranked spear art hallucination spear art. Hallucination spear art obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations host. The inferior yellow-ranked spear art hallucination spear art has successfully broken through to the mastery level. Ding. Congratulations host. The inferior yellow-ranked spear art hallucination spear art has successfully broken through to the mastery level. Ding. It has been detected that the hallucination spear art has reached the mastery level. It has automatically upgraded to the intermediate yellow-ranked spear art traceless spear art. Along the way, GU's spear art kept on breaking through. It directly upgraded to the intermediate yellow-ranked spear art. At this time, GU was about to leave the desert and reach Chaos City. Only when he saw more and more buildings around him did he know that he had arrived at Chaos City. However, this was still a desert, but there were no more demonic beasts around, and there were more people than before. To be precise, this should be the border between the desert and Chaos City. GU continued to move forward. The desert on the ground became less and less, and the surrounding buildings and people became more and more numerous. GU suddenly felt a little puzzled and used his soul force to feel around. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained, 1 by 999 times. In the end, he discovered that there were no city walls in the vicinity. But GU took another look at the map. She was indeed in the Chaos City. It was just that this was a slightly more remote area. From the looks of it, the City of Chaos had no walls at all. Compared to normal towns and cities, the pandemonium was a bit strange. Don't underestimate the pandemonium just because it was the capital of the Kanglan Empire. It was at least 3 times larger than the capital city of the Kanglan Empire. Compared to the entire Kanglan Empire, Pandemonium was about 1/4 the size of the Kanglan Empire. This was considered very large for a capital city. Inadvertently, GU passed by a mansion. He saw many laborers transporting things into the mansion. GU looked up and discovered that they were in the Yarrow residence. At this moment, he suddenly sensed a somewhat familiar aura. He subconsciously turned around and saw the red-haired woman he met in the desert. "It's you." At the same time, the red-haired woman saw GU and exclaimed in surprise. "What a coincidence, we meet again." GU spoke as if he was an old acquaintance of the other party. "It's him." The red-haired woman immediately pointed at GU and said with a gloomy expression, "It's this guy who injured me before." As soon as she said this, the 7 Tongxian realm experts beside the red-haired woman immediately erupted with intense hostility toward GU. "You're the brat who injured our young miss. Brat, do you know who our young miss is? Today, we'll make you pay a price." In the blink of an eye, the 7 Tongxian experts dismounted from their horses and surrounded GU menacingly. At the same time, the laborers who were transporting the goods deliberately slowed down, as if they wanted to watch the show for a while longer. They did not know how this young man in black offended Miss Yao, but they knew that this young man in black was going to be very, very miserable. Those were 7 Tongxian realm experts. Just the thought of it was terrifying. "You want to fight with me?" However, GU's expression was still calm and even had a trace of a smile. It was as if he did not care about the 7 of them at all. "Not only do we want to fight with you, but we also want to cripple your cultivation and break your tendons. That's too boring. Why don't we just chop off all 4 of his limbs and put him in the pigsty as a pig? Hehehe, that's not a bad idea. We can make this brat suffer a fate worse than death." Before they even made a move, those people had already thought of how to deal with this black-clothed youth in front of them. "Then I'm sorry to disappoint you," the young man in black said calmly. A silver spear appeared in his hand. Chapter 480. "Oh, you still want to resist? I'll go and take care of him first." One of the 7 Tongxian experts walked towards GU with a ferocious smile on his face. Such a young brat, how high could his strength be? He alone was enough to take care of him. However, before he could take 2 steps, he realized that the black-clothed youth had disappeared. Following which, a cold glint flashed across his eyes. Ding. Host has executed the yellow rank intermediate level spear art traceless spear art. Traceless Spear Art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations host, the yellow rank intermediate level Spear Art Traceless Spear Art has broken through to initial mastery. That person's head was pierced through by Jiu's pure silver spear and he fell to the ground, dead. The other 6 Tongxian realm men were still in a daze. Their expressions were still frozen on their faces from a second ago. In the next moment, they regained their senses and their expressions froze. Even the laborers who were carrying the goods around were stunned in place. All of them stared at Jiu in disbelief. This youth. Who exactly is he? All of you will be buried together with him. Jiu pointed her spear at the 6 Tongxian realm experts and said indifferently. Ding. Host has executed the yellow rank intermediate level Spear Art Traceless Spear Art. Traceless Spear Art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Host has executed the yellow rank intermediate level Spear Art Traceless Spear Art. Traceless Spear Art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations host, the yellow rank intermediate level Spear Art Traceless Spear Art has broken through to mastery. Ding. Congratulations host, the yellow rank intermediate level Spear Art Traceless Spear Art has broken through to perfection. Jiu, 1 person and 1 spear, used various methods to kill the remaining 6 people. Just as the 6 Tongxian realm experts had the thought of escaping, they lost consciousness. Seeing this, the laborers who were carrying the goods also fled in all directions without a care for the consequences. They all thought that this black-clothed youth was an enemy of the Yarrow residents and could possibly destroy the entire Yarrow residence. They hastily cut ties with the Yarrow manor and ran as far as they could. However, Jiu completely ignored these strong laborers. She turned to look at the red-haired woman. The red-haired woman was so scared that her face turned pale, and her legs trembled slightly. I wanted to hand you over to those black-robed men, but I didn't expect you to survive. Jiu said indifferently, if that's the case, then I'll personally deal with you this time. No. Don't. The red-haired woman felt weak all over and immediately sat down on the ground. His face was filled with fear and despair. At this moment, she was filled with regret. If he hadn't called out to her just now, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. No. From the very beginning, she shouldn't have come into contact with this young man. However, it was already too late for her to regret. In response, Jiu's eyes were filled with indifference. He walked in front of the red-haired woman without a change in expression, and without hesitation, he pierced the other party's throat with his gun. Ding. Host has performed the middle-class yellow Spear Art Traceless Spear Art. Traceless Spear Art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations host, middle-class yellow Spear Art Traceless Spear Art. Traceless Spear Art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Detected that Traceless Spear Art has reached perfection. Automatically upgraded to upper-class yellow Spear Art Vanishing Spear Art. After killing the red-haired woman, Jiu sensed that there were people running inside the Yarrow Manor's main gate. It was obvious that the people of the Yarrow clan had seen what had just happened and were running to report to the Yarrow clan's patriarch or elder. Thinking of this, Jiu immediately walked toward the Yarrow clan's residence. In the past, he wouldn't exterminate other people's clans. But later on, he realized that this would always lead to more trouble. Although those troubles were easily dealt with, they were more or less annoying. So this time, Jiu planned to eliminate those people in the Yarrow clan's upper echelons who didn't know what was good for them. Before entering the Yarrow clan's residence, Jiu also took the red-haired woman's storage ring. He remembered that this woman was being chased after because she took something. Although he wasn't sure what it was always a good idea to take it. Those laborers who hadn't run far discovered that the black-clothed young man didn't pay any attention to them and directly walked into the Yarrow clan's residence. They immediately felt very fortunate that this young man didn't take them seriously. At the same time, they were deeply moved. Today, the Yarrow clan that dominated this area was going to suffer a bloody calamity. Chapter 481. Inside the Yarrow family mansion. In a pavilion. The Yarrow family patriarch, Yarrow Yunshan, was playing chess with the great elder. Patriarch. Suddenly, a voice interrupted the leisurely and peaceful atmosphere. What happened? Yarrow Yunshan frowned and asked in a low voice. Miss, she. The man ran over and stuttered because he couldn't catch his breath. It's good that Lina is back. You can leave. Yarrow Yunshan said calmly. Yarrow Yunshan thought that the man was going to say that his daughter was back. He didn't find it surprising at all. He had sent 7 mystic comprehending realm elders to support her. There shouldn't be any accidents. However, his opponent's next sentence made his hand, which was about to pick up the chess piece, freeze in midair. Young Miss was killed. The man finally finished his sentence. What did you say? Yarrow Yunshan was so agitated that he smashed the chess table with his palm. Miss was killed, by a young man in black. The man really stuttered this time. He was so frightened by Yarrow Yunshan's appearance that he stuttered. Where is she? Yarrow Yunshan asked with a gloomy expression. Just as the man was about to speak, he heard a young man's voice. Are you talking about me? Hearing this voice, the man's expression changed. He turned his head with a stiff expression and found that it was indeed the young man in black from before. Yarrow Yunshan also looked at the young man and realized that this young man was the same as what his subordinate had described. He had also admitted it. You're the one who killed my daughter. Looking at the young man in black, Yarrow Yunshan's heart was instantly filled with uncontrollable rage. Ding. Host has made a move. Superior Earthrank Movement Technique Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has made a move. Superior Earthrank Movement Technique Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. He saw Ji-Yu holding a silver spear and walking over with an indifferent expression. It's me. Ji-Yu said calmly, it seems that you want to kill me too. The 7 elders of our Yarrow family were also killed by you. Yarrow Yunshan's last shred of rationality made him feel that something was wrong. This young man was too calm, so calm that it was abnormal. In order to survive in the fringe, he had to rely on his instincts. Ji-Yu nodded slightly, as if confirming an insignificant fact. I understand. Yarrow Yunshan's expression gradually turned ferocious. Great Elder, let's attack together. No matter what, he would never let this young man go. The enmity of killing his daughter was absolutely irreconcilable. The Great Elder nodded solemnly. Although he couldn't see through the true strength of this black-clothed youth in front of him, he felt that it was very likely that this black-clothed youth wasn't any weaker than him, so he had to be cautious. Ji-Yu's expression did not change at all. He did not put the 3 people in front of him in his eyes at all. Excluding the lackey who was only here to deliver the news, the Yarrow clan's clan head and Grand Elder were only at LV9 Tongxian realm. As for these 2 people, Ji-Yu could easily destroy them. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked Spear Art Vanishing Shadow Spear Art. Vanishing Shadow Spear Art has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked Spear Art Vanishing Shadow Spear Art. Vanishing Shadow Spear Art has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations Host. The superior yellow-ranked Spear Art Vanishing Shadow Spear Art has successfully broken through to initial success realm. Before the person appeared, the cold light of the spear tip appeared. Before Yarrow Yunshan could see Ji-Yu's figure, a cold light flashed in front of his eyes. When he came back to his senses, his abdomen had been pierced. Fortunately, he had used profound chi to protect his body from the start. Otherwise, the power of this spear would have been enough to break his waist. After all, this Vanishing Shadow Spear Art was only a superior yellow-ranked Mystic Spear Art. If the Spear Art was of a higher grade, with the difference in cultivation between Ji-Yu and Yarrow Yunshan would have been dead. Although the opponent's speed was shockingly fast, the battle-hardened Yarrow Yunshan was not intimidated. His reaction was very fast. He immediately grabbed the spear that had pierced his abdomen and pulled it out with brute force, ignoring the intense pain in his abdomen. At this moment, Yarrow Yunshan decided to attack as a form of defense. He would use his greatest killing move and risk everything to kill this young man. A treasured saber appeared in Yarrow Yunshan's hand. The treasured saber emitted a bone-chilling cold. At this moment, the surrounding temperature instantly dropped. The little lackey who had reported earlier immediately hugged himself and squatted there, trembling. In less than a second, he felt like he was about to freeze to death. This was the first time he had experienced what it meant to be a fight between immortals and mortals. He could only hope that the patriarch and the great elder could get rid of the youth as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would really freeze to death here, unable to run even if he wanted to. Is this your strongest technique? Ji Yu seemed to have seen Yarrow Yunshan's determination. However, in his eyes, this strongest technique was a little too weak. Seeing the trace of contempt in the other party's eyes, Yarrow Yunshan could not help but be slightly stunned. However, he still held the treasured saber tightly in his hand. His determination would not waver. Forget it, I don't have the leisure to slowly play with you. Ji Yu slightly shook his head and said, next, I will send you on your way. Chapter 482. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations host, superior yellow-ranked spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique has successfully broken through to the mastery realm. In the blink of an eye, Ji Yu casually shot Yarrow Yunshan and knocked him to the ground. Yarrow Yunshan didn't even have the time to use his strongest killing move before he was seriously injured by Ji Yu's Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Even though the Yarrow family's great elder hadn't been attacked by Ji Yu before, he didn't dare to act rashly when he saw this. Ji Yu's spear pierced through Yarrow Yunshan's heart, killing him completely. Then, without any nonsense or hesitation, he directly rushed towards the Yarrow family's great elder. Seeing that the situation was not good, the great elder immediately wanted to run. But no matter how he ran, he couldn't outrun Ji Yu. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked Shadowless Lightning Flash. Shadowless Lightning Flash obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. The Great Elder, who only knew how to escape and didn't have any defense, directly stabbed his heart from the back. Although it wasn't completely pierced through, the Great Elder was still hanging on to his last breath, but it was no different from death. Goodbye, Ji Yu lightly said. Once again, he used the spear and completely pierced through the opponent's heart. Ding. Host has used the superior yellow-ranked spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique obtained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations host, superior yellow-ranked spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear Technique has successfully broken through to the mastery realm. At this time, only the lackey was left alive. He was completely dumbfounded. His family's patriarch and great elder didn't even have the strength to resist in the hands of this black-clothed youth. The two strongest experts of the Yarrow clan were easily killed by a young man. Who would believe him if he told them? Even he, who had witnessed everything with his own eyes, could not believe that what was happening before his eyes was real. This was simply too shocking. Right at this moment, a calm voice jolted him awake from his shock. Oh, you too. It was as if he had heard the whispers of the devil. His face was instantly filled with fear and despair. In the next second, a silver spear pierced through his head. The people who should be killed were basically all killed. Ji Yu acted as if nothing had happened and leisurely walked out of the Yarrow family residence. Along the way, he encountered some Yarrow family disciples, but he directly ignored them. These irrelevant people, who were practically powerless, were not worth Ji Yu's time. There was no need for Ji Yu to attack these people. Those Yarrow family disciples did not know who this black-clothed youth was. They had never seen him before. However, they only paid a little attention and did not pay much attention to him. After all, they did not know that their eldest miss, several elders, and even the patriarch had been killed by this black-clothed youth. Otherwise, they would not have been able to walk past this black-clothed youth so calmly. That day, what happened in the Yarrow clan spread quickly. In an instant, it caused a commotion in the nearby area. The Yarrow clan was the strongest clan in this area. Putting aside the patriarch's daughter, the patriarch Yarrow Yunshan and Great Elder were both experts at LV9 of the Tongxian realm. The other elders would not be too far off either. But today, they were all killed by a young man. This also meant that the young man's martial cultivation was at least at LV9 Tongxian realm. He must have all kinds of mystic skills and might even be a spirit profound realm expert. For a young man to be this strong, it was inconceivable to everyone. Under normal circumstances, those who could break through to the Tongxian realm before reaching adulthood were considered super geniuses in the Chaos City. But now, a young man who was at least at LV9 Tongxian realm or above appeared. This was simply a huge shock to them. At night, in a tavern. I don't know if you have heard. Today, a group of important figures in the Yarrow clan were massacred. Moreover, they were all killed by a black-clothed youth. How could I not have heard of such a huge matter? Although that young man is very capable, he probably won't be able to laugh for long. The Yarrow clan has the backing of a powerful force in the central district. Really? If that's true, then they won't be able to laugh for long. Those powerful forces in the central district are many times more terrifying than the Yarrow clan. This time, that young man killed the entire upper echelon of the Yarrow clan. This is equivalent to harming the interests of those powerful forces in the central district. When that happens, this matter will be blown up even more. A few tables of guests were discussing the big matter that happened today. However, Jiyu happened to be separated from these people by a wall. Chapter 483. At this moment, Jiyu was drinking tea and resting in a private room. In addition, his hearing was much sharper than normal people's, so he could clearly hear what the people in the room were saying. He didn't really care about what these people were saying about him. However, he received a rather interesting piece of information. That was what these people were saying. The Yarrow clan had a powerful faction in the central region behind them. The chaotic city was so huge, but it was roughly divided into two regions. The remote regions and the central region. Right now, Jiyu was in the most remote part of the chaotic city. The more remote a place was, the lower the average strength of the cultivators. This was also why the Yarrow clan was able to dominate this area. Of course, even if this place was very remote and the average strength of the cultivators was low, the Yarrow clan couldn't dominate this area as they pleased. Another important reason was that the Yarrow clan had an even more powerful faction behind them. In Jiyu's opinion, the Yarrow clan and the powerful faction in the central region couldn't possibly have an equal relationship. It should be that the Yarrow clan was relying on the powerful faction in the central region. To put it bluntly, they were the underlings. As for the benefits that the Yarrow clan reaped here, that powerful faction would naturally take the lion's share. Now that Jiyu had killed almost all of the Yarrow clan's upper echelons, the Yarrow clan's dominant position would no longer exist. Unknowingly, they had even offended the powerful faction there. However, Jiyu didn't really care. On the contrary, he felt that it was quite good. Because this was more exciting. When the time came, he could just sweep his way through. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any challenge at all. After resting, Jiyu brought Xiao Jiyu back to the room that he had rented to sleep. The next day, Jiyu didn't stay here any longer. He directly set off for the central region. Since he had provoked an even more powerful faction, he might as well go and take a look. He called for a first-class carriage. The horse was handsome and powerful, and its speed was much faster than that of a normal horse. Just like that, Jiyu and Xiao Jiyu sat in the carriage together and headed to the central region. Ding. Host has used spiritual perception. Spiritual perception obtained experience, 1 by 999 times. Before setting off, Jiyu casually used his spiritual perception and found that there were people secretly monitoring him. But now that he was in the carriage, he couldn't be bothered to pay attention to those people. After all, They were just a bunch of clowns who could only hide in the dark. It was not worth mentioning at all. Then, the carriage set off. Along the way, Jiyu began to raise the level of her king-rank cultivation technique, Sky Splitter. Ding. The host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. The experience gained from the third level of Split the Sky is 1 times 999 times. Ding. The host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. The experience gained from the third level of Split the Sky is 1 times 999 times. Half a day later, when the carriage reached the center of Chaos City, Jiyu finally got out of her trance. During this period of time, although Jiyu hadn't been able to break through to the third stage of Heaven Splitter, his physique had already broken through to the second grade of the profound body realm. Ding. Host has cultivated Shen Qi for 1 minute. Martial arts cultivation experience gained, 540 by 999 times. Ding. Host has cultivated Shen Qi for 1 minute. Martial arts cultivation experience gained, 540 by 999 times. Ding. Congratulations host, martial arts cultivation has successfully broken through to the middle stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. After trying to cultivate for a while, as expected, his cultivation speed had increased again. And very quickly, Jiyu broke through to the middle stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Jiyu, I feel like I'm going to break through soon. Right at this moment, Xiao Jiyu, who was eating candy at the side, suddenly opened his mouth. Breakthrough? Jiyu was momentarily stunned. Are you talking about yourself? Yes. Xiao Jiyu nodded slightly. Jiyu remembered that the last time she looked at Xiao Gu's demonic power, Xiao Jiyu was already at the 9th level of the 5th level. Now, Xiao Jiyu suddenly said that he was about to break through. This also meant that Xiao Gu's demonic power would soon reach the 6th level. Jiyu thought about it again. The 4th level of demonic power was equivalent to the Spirit Profound Realm for human warriors. The 5th level of demonic power was equivalent to the Human Profound Realm for human warriors. Then, the 6th level of demonic power was equivalent to the Earth Profound Realm for human warriors. Jiyu wasn't sure about other things. Only the Earth Profound Realm for human warriors. Jiyu was sure that there wouldn't be any Earth Profound Realm cultivators in the entire southern region. Not to mention the Earth Profound Realm, the southern region might not even have a Human Profound Realm that was 1 realm lower. This was enough to prove that Xiao Jiyu was currently in existence that no one in the entire southern region could match. You'll break through today? Jiyu asked with concern. The only thing that worried him was that Xiao Gu's demonic power had reached such a level. Would there be any difficulties or calamities in breaking through? Nope. Xiao Jiyu shook his head, and said, I feel like it'll take a few more days. At this moment, Xiao Jiyu pretended to speak like an adult, and said earnestly, my demonic power has already broken through to the 6th level, and you're still at the Spirit Profound Realm for human beings. You have to work hard. Chapter 484. Yes, Jiyu smiled helplessly. This guy was really a monster. His demonic power breakthrough speed was really fast. Most importantly, he didn't even need to cultivate. He could increase his demonic power just by breathing. But to be honest, he did need to work harder. His current strength was already in the upper echelons of the southern region. But if he looked at the entire mysterious heavenly continent, the Spirit Profound Realm was still far from enough. Above the Spirit Profound Realm, there was the Human Profound Realm, Earth Profound Realm, Sky Profound Realm. There were even more realms that he couldn't touch. Jiyu still wanted to pursue higher realms and not be satisfied with the current situation. Young master, we have reached the central area. At this moment, the coachman outside the carriage spoke. All right, please stop for a moment. Jiyu said. After that, Jiyu and Xiao Jiyu alighted from the carriage. It could be seen that the surrounding scene was much more prosperous than the remote area. The average strength of the martial cultivators was also much higher. Basically, the weakest martial cultivator was at the defensive Profound Realm. There were also many Tongxian experts. After all, in a place like this, those who weren't strong enough could only be servants or slaves. Those servants and slaves didn't have the mood or time to appear on the streets. Even if they worked themselves to death every day, they might not even be able to get a meal. Surprisingly, the atmosphere here didn't seem too bad. Along the way, they didn't see many people committing crimes. It was probably controlled by the various large factions here, and they were controlling this place on their own. Of course, the control wasn't very strict. Because at this moment, Ji Yu saw with his own eyes a man who had a stall being killed in a single stroke in front of everyone. The surrounding people seemed to be used to it. They only came to watch for a while before dispersing. To them, this was already a small matter. Ding. Host has taken a step. Earth rank superior movement technique shadowless lightning flash gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Earth rank superior movement technique shadowless lightning flash gained experience. 1 by 999 times. As Ji Yu carried a silver spear on his back and was dressed in black, this impression was very obvious. After walking for a while, he realized that more and more people seemed to be staring at him. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ji Yu purposely used her soul force to sense the surroundings. She discovered that not only were there people spying on her, there were also many Tongxian realm experts gathered in the dark. There were even 2 spirit profound realm experts. After discovering these people, Ji Yu was not afraid. I noticed you guys a long time ago. Stop sneaking around and come out. Ji Yu stopped in her tracks and said. All of a sudden, the auras of those people became somewhat chaotic. Obviously, they did not expect to be discovered by Ji Yu so quickly. After that, those people gradually walked out from the shadows. Brat, you do have some skills. I didn't think that you would be able to discover me. The one who spoke was an old man in a black robe. He seemed to be the leader of these people. At the same time, he was also one of the 2 spirit profound realm martial artists that Ji Yu had just sensed. Just by looking at their words and actions, Ji Yu knew that they were here to cause trouble for her. This way, there was no need to talk nonsense. Ji Yu directly pulled out the pure silver spear on her back and pointed the spear at those people. Something was wrong. At this time, Ji Yu suddenly realized. The number of people in front of her was different from the number that she had sensed with her soul force. It was less than half. And the other spirit profound realm martial artist had not appeared yet. Where did the rest of the people go? Ji Yu was a little curious. She once again used her soul force to sense her surroundings. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained, 1 by 999 times. This time, Ji Yu suddenly realized that the other half of the people were all in the dark behind her, as if preparing to appear. The next moment. Just as expected. The other half of the people appeared. The leader was a grey-robed old man whose cultivation had reached the spirit profound realm. At this time, in front of and behind Ji Yu, there were about 20 to 30 people on each side. There was a spirit profound realm old man in each side. As for the rest, their cultivation was all above the Tongxian realm. This kind of lineup could be said to be very valiant. When these 2 groups of people appeared, the nearby ordinary people all ran away, as if they all knew that these people were not to be trifled with and should not be approached. Ji Yu suddenly felt that she had a lot of face. The big powers here had just started and they had already sent such a strong lineup to deal with her. In that case, he naturally couldn't disappoint him. But just as Ji Yu was about to show her skills, the black-robed old man in front of her suddenly spoke. The black-robed old man frowned. People from the Green Cloud Gang, why are you here? Green Cloud Gang? Ji Yu did not know much about the powers in this chaotic city. She only heard that this Green Cloud Gang should be a gang. She still did not understand what was going on. Do you still need to ask? Of course we are here to stop your Blackwater Gang. The grey-robed old man behind Ji Yu slowly said. Are you planning to become enemies with our Blackwater Gang? The black-robed old man's face gradually darkened and his tone gradually became cold. When were you not enemies with us? The grey-robed old man smiled faintly and said. Chapter 485. After listening to the conversation between the two old men, Ji-yu had a rough idea of what was going on. These two old men belonged to the Green Cloud Gang and the Black Water Gang respectively. They should be the major powers in the center of Chaos City. Otherwise, there wouldn't be people in the Spirit Profound realm. Both sides were enemies. And from the two old men's words, the one who wanted to find trouble with Ji-yu was the Blackwater Gang. The Blackwater Gang should be the Yarrow family's backer. And the Green Cloud Gang was here to stop the Blackwater Gang. In other words, the Green Cloud Gang was here to help him. Although there was the saying the enemy of my enemy is my friend, Ji-yu wasn't too sure yet. At the same time, the black-robed old man had already understood the Green Cloud Gang's intentions. He seemed to be thinking about something. After thinking for a while, he still decided to temporarily retreat. Kid, today's matter won't end so easily. Before retreating, the black-robed old man warned Ji-yu. Wait. At this time, Ji-yu suddenly spoke up. "En." The black-robed old man looked back at Ji-yu with some doubt. The Green Cloud Gang people were also puzzled. The Blackwater Gang people had already temporarily given up. What else did this kid want to do? Did I say I was going to let you go? The corner of Ji-yu's mouth slightly raised, and she smiled. When these words came out, both the Green Cloud Gang and the Blackwater Gang people were stunned. Kid, I advise you to not be ungrateful. The black-robed old man quickly regained his senses and said with a displeased expression, "Don't think that with the Green Cloud Gang people here, this old man is afraid of you." In his opinion, if it wasn't for the fact that he didn't want to fight to the death with the Green Cloud Gang people here, how could this kid have the right to speak? On the other side, the Green Cloud Gang people also felt that this kid was too ridiculous. They helped this kid out of goodwill, but in the end, this guy wasn't willing to let the Blackwater Gang people go. If the Blackwater Gang people really got angry and started a fight, they weren't willing to fight to the death for this guy. Young man, listen to my advice. Don't fight to the death with the Blackwater Gang. The grey-robed elder of the Green Cloud Gang couldn't stand it anymore and immediately sent a message to Ji-yu. Are you trying to teach me how to do things? Ji-yu replied indifferently. From the beginning to the end, he had never asked those people from the Clear Sky sect to help him. Instead, it was those who rushed out on their own. As for the Blackwater Gang, since they wanted to cause trouble for him, he wouldn't let them go so easily. Hearing Ji-yu's reply, the grey-robed old man couldn't help but shake his head. If it wasn't for the gang leader's orders, he wouldn't have brought anyone here. Originally, he was quite interested in this young genius, but after coming into contact with him, he immediately felt a little disappointed in this young man. This young man's talent and strength might be extremely high, but he was too arrogant and domineering, not putting others in his eyes. However, this kind of situation was very normal. After all, young people were full of vigor. He didn't intend to lend a helping hand for now. He wanted to let this young man suffer a little and reduce his arrogance. When this young man's life was in danger, he would save him. Less nonsense, let's do it. Ji-yu was too lazy to listen to the black-robed old man's nonsense. He directly held the pure silver spear and rushed into the crowd of the Black Cloud Gang. Ding! Host has used the superior Earth rank Shadowless Thunder Flash. Shadowless Thunder Flash has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Oh no! Seeing this, the grey-robed old man of the Clear Sky sect suddenly shouted in his heart. He didn't expect this young man to be so reckless and stupid to directly rush into the crowd of the Black Cloud Gang. It seemed that he had to make a move now. Otherwise, in a few seconds, the young man would most likely lose his life. All of you, go! Don't let that young man be killed. The grey-robed old man immediately ordered his subordinates behind him. However, before the rest of the Clear Sky sect could react, Ji-yu had already rushed into the crowd of the Black Cloud Gang. Ding! Host has used the superior yellow rank spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear technique has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Host has used the superior yellow rank spear technique Vanishing Shadow Spear technique. Vanishing Shadow Spear technique has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding! Congratulations host, The superior yellow rank spear technique vanishing shadow spear technique has successfully broken through to the greater perfection stage. Ding. Detected that the vanishing shadow spear technique has reached the perfection stage. Automatically upgraded to the inferior profound rank spear technique cold chill spear technique. He saw that Ji-Yu didn't first look for the spirit profound realm black-robed old man. Instead, she reaped the Tongxian realm martial artists one by one as if she was cutting grass. At the same time, her spear technique also obtained a breakthrough and advanced to the inferior profound rank cold chill spear technique. Each of Ji-Yu's spear strikes left no trace and were incomparably swift. Those Tongxian realm martial artists simply couldn't block or even see Ji-Yu's spear technique. They didn't even have the strength to resist and were all dealt with by Ji-Yu. Among them, there was no lack of Tongxian realm martial artists. At most, they couldn't withstand 3 to 5 of Ji-Yu's spear strikes. This was because they didn't even have the time to prepare. When the black-robed old man regained his senses, he was the only one left alive. Chapter 486. Looking at the shocking scene in front of him, the black-robed elder's eyes were filled with disbelief. He brought so many people, all of whom were above the Tongxian realm, but in the blink of an eye, they were all killed by this young man. It seemed that this young man's cultivation was at the spirit profound realm. The black-robed elder quickly calmed himself down and started to take this young man seriously. At the same time, on the other side, the people from the Green Cloud gang were all dumbfounded. Even the grey-robed elder was shocked. With this young man's shocking performance, he felt that this young man's martial strength was definitely not weaker than his. At this moment, the grey-robed elder's impression of Ji-Yu completely changed. He no longer felt that Ji-Yu was young and frivolous, arrogant and despotic, because this young man really had strength. When a person with strength acts pretentiously, that is awesome. Next, it's time to send you on your way. Following that, Ji-Yu pointed the pure silver spear in his hand at the black-robed elder. Today, this old man will properly meet you. The black-robed elder did not show any weakness. Although the subordinates he brought were all killed by the opponent, he was not affected too much. After knowing this young man's strength, he actually wanted to fight with this young man, and see if he could thoroughly investigate this young man's true strength. Ji-Yu did not say anything and directly charged at the black-robed elder. At this moment, the pure silver spear in his hand became even whiter, emitting waves of cold air. Ding. Host used the low profound rank spear art cold spear art. Cold spear art obtained 999 times experience. Facing Ji-Yu's spear, the black-robed elder did not dare to underestimate his opponent. He immediately used his best defensive mystic skill to block Ji-Yu's spear. A faint red translucent barrier appeared around the black-robed old man. Although it had blocked Ji-Yu's spear attack, a crack had appeared on it. At first contact, the black-robed elder could feel that the young man in front of him was indeed at the spirit profound realm. But the specific realm did not seem to be very high, probably just broke through to the first level of the spirit profound realm not long ago. Realizing this, the black-robed elder was delighted. He was at the peak of the first level of the spirit profound realm. In terms of cultivation, he had the advantage. However, what the black-robed old man didn't expect was that he only had a slight advantage over Ji-Yu in terms of cultivation. Ding. Host has performed the high-level profound rank spear art cold spear art. Cold spear art has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has performed the lower profound rank spear art cold spear art. Cold spear art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations to the host, the profound class inferior spear art cold spear art has successfully broken through to the initial success stage. At this moment, Ji-Yu's continuous attacks completely destroyed the red barrier around the black-robed old man. Following the shattering of the defensive profound skill, the black-robed elder took advantage of the opening when Ji-Yu retracted her spear, and immediately sent a palm strike towards Ji-Yu's abdomen. He used all his strength in this palm strike. The other party would definitely not be able to resist in time and would definitely suffer heavy injuries. This is bad. The grey-robed old man at the back realized that the situation was not good. That youth had been caught, and that palm strike was an earth-rank palm art. However, Gu, who had the amethyst eyes, had a dynamic capturing ability, reaction speed, and other aspects that far surpassed ordinary people. The black-robed old man's seemingly ferocious palm strike, in Gu's eyes, was as slow as a child playing house. Ding. Host has performed the high-level Earth-rank Shadowless Thunder Flash. Shadowless Thunder Flash has gained 999 times experience point. Gu used her movement technique and easily dodged the black-robed old man's palm strike. What? The black-robed old man originally thought that his palm strike would at least injure the other party, but it didn't feel like it had hit the other party at all. He simply couldn't believe that the other party could actually dodge like this. I have something good for you. At this moment, Gu said. Hearing the voice, the black-robed old man subconsciously looked in the direction of the voice. It just so happened that his eyes met with Gu's. It was a pair of eyes that flickered with a purple light. Ding. Host has used the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light. Purple glazed eyes gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. The moment Gu's eyes met the black-robed old man's, she immediately used the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light. This was the first time she had used the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light. She didn't know if the effect would satisfy him. At this moment, the black-robed old man felt a piercing pain in his eyes. In the depths of his mind, countless streaks of purple lightning were wreaking havoc, threatening to destroy the heavens and earth. He knelt on the ground in agony, as if he was experiencing hellish torment. Seeing the black-robed old man in such a state, Gu could sense that his mental strength and willpower were continuously weakening. It was even on the verge of collapse. It seemed that the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light was quite effective. If she used both the eye technique Purple Glazed Divine Light and the Golden Blade at the same time, both of them were mental attacks, so there should be a stacking effect. Ding. Host has used the Golden Blade. Gold level mental strength gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. At this thought, Gu decided to experiment on the black-robed old man and use the Golden Blade at the same time. In the blink of an eye, a small golden blade pierced through the black-robed old man's head. The black-robed old man's mental strength and willpower completely collapsed. He knelt on the ground and wailed in agony. It was obvious that he had completely lost the ability to fight. Right now, he could only be at the mercy of others. Chapter 487. The black-robed old man no longer had the slightest ability to fight, let alone resist. Ding. Host has used the low profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art has obtained 999 times of experience. Gu walked over and casually fired his spear, sending the black-robed old man to meet the King of Hell. The scene in front of them caused the Green Cloud gang members to be shocked. They basically did not see what method the youth used to make the Spirit Profound Realm old man from the Blackwater gang suddenly enter a state of madness. Only the grey-robed elder, whose cultivation was at the Spirit Profound Realm, was barely able to see a little of it. He seemed to have seen a golden light just now, but he did not know what method it was. And before that golden light appeared, the Blackwater gang guy was already abnormal. He could not help but sigh. This youth was really a terrifying and mysterious existence. Do you have anything else? At this time, Gu turned around and looked at the so-called Green Cloud gang members. The Green Cloud gang members did not dare to say a word. Only the old man in grey robes spoke carefully. Our gang leader wants to cooperate with young master. Cooperate? Gu frowned slightly. You'd better get out of my sight before I make a move. He was not interested in cooperating at all. In this chaotic land, there was no one who could make him afraid. Why should he cooperate with a gang that he did not even know? He was already very merciful that he did not take care of the Green Cloud gang along with them. Hearing the other party's words, the old man in grey robes did not dare to say anything else. This youth was really not easy to get along with. Since he could not get along with him, he must not force it to avoid inviting a fatal disaster. Let's hurry and leave. The old man in grey robes ordered the others to leave. After a while, the Green Cloud gang members all disappeared from Ji-Yu's sight. Because they were very afraid that the youth would kill them all if he was unhappy, they fled very quickly. Ji-Yu did not take the Green Cloud gang members to heart. After that, he collected the storage rings on the Blackwater gang members. This was called collecting the spoils of war. After that, Ji-Yu left with Xiao Ji-Yu. As if what happened here had nothing to do with him. Ding. The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. Ding. The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. While walking, Ji-Yu was still checking the storage rings she had looted from the Blackwater gang members. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. First, Ji-Yu opened the storage ring she had obtained from the black-robed old man. That black-robed old man was at least at the spirit profound realm, so the treasures in his storage ring should not be bad. He opened the storage ring to take a look, only to find that the space inside the storage ring was extremely clean. There was almost nothing inside. He took a closer look and saw that there was an old and tattered piece of yellow paper lying in the storage ring. What is this? Ji-Yu was just about to take out the incomplete piece of yellow paper from her storage ring when the sound of a system notification suddenly sounded in her head. Ding. The host has taken a look at the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have successfully comprehended the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. After taking it out, Ji-Yu found that the incomplete piece of yellow paper was blurry and hard to understand. However, the system triggered the 999 times comprehension ability, allowing him to directly comprehend this Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. All the details of the entire treasure map appeared clearly in his mind. Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. This should be a good thing. Ji-Yu secretly thought in his heart. Since he had this Land of Extreme Frost treasure map, then when the time came, he would definitely make a trip to the Land of Extreme Frost. This treasure map was enough to prove that there were extremely precious treasures in that place. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Congratulations to the host, gold level spiritual power has successfully broken through to the initial stage. Next, Ji-Yu opened the rest of the storage rings one by one. After taking a rough inventory, he put these storage rings into his original storage ring. After that, Ji-Yu found an information broker in a dark corner, intending to ask for information. What information does the young master need? That information broker asked with a smile. Where is the specific location of the Blackwater gang? Ji-Yu directly asked. Blackwater gang? Does the young master want to join the Blackwater gang? The information broker asked curiously. Because the Blackwater gang was one of the top forces in the central area of the Chaos City, usually no one would ask about this. Don't talk nonsense. Ji-Yu's expression was slightly displeased, obviously somewhat impatient. He couldn't be bothered to argue with this person. Although Ji-Yu's attitude wasn't very good, the information broker wasn't angry. The information broker didn't dare to lightly offend the customer, and hurriedly told Ji-Yu the specific location of the Blackwater gang. If the young master really wants to join the Blackwater gang, it's best to. Then, the information broker kindly reminded him. However, halfway through, he discovered that the young man with the little girl just now had disappeared. Chapter 488. According to the information provided by the information broker, Ji-Yu headed towards the Blackwater gang. Now that the Blackwater gang wanted to make a move on him, he naturally would not let them go. Along the way, Ji took out all the elixirs from the storage rings he had obtained from the Blackwater gang members and consumed them. Ding. Host has consumed a second-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has consumed a third-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the late stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. At the same time, he circulated his cultivation technique to suppress the commotion caused by the breakthrough. Ding. Host has circulated the King rank cultivation technique Skysplitter. Skysplitter has gained 999 times experience. Most of these pills were only Tier 2 and Tier 3 pills. Only a few of them were Tier 4 pills. So after consuming so many pills, Ji barely broke through 2 small realms and reached the peak of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. But Ji did not only have these pills. He still had the pills he obtained from the ancient city ruins. Thinking of this, he took out those pills and consumed them all. Ding. Host has consumed a third-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has consumed a fourth-grade pill. Martial cultivation has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the early stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the middle stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding. Congratulations, host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the late stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. The pills obtained from the ancient city ruins were completely different. There were more of them and their quality was generally higher. Consuming all of them in one go allowed Ji to continuously break through to the late stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. He was quite satisfied with the speed of his cultivation. With his current strength, fighting against a martial cultivator at the third level of the Spirit Profound Realm was a piece of cake. It was even possible for him to fight against a martial cultivator at the fourth level of the Spirit Profound Realm if he gave it his all. However, this time, he had relied on medicinal pills to break through so many cultivation realms, so he had to stabilize his foundation for quite some time. At this time, Ji had already arrived at the Blackwater gang's location. This was really near a river with black water. No wonder it was called the Blackwater gang. This Blackwater river seemed to contain a very valuable substance, which was why the Blackwater gang was able to occupy this place. Even the gang was named Blackwater. Ji walked unscrupulously to the place where the Blackwater gang members were stationed, as if she had entered a place where no one was around. "Who are you?" At this time, a member of the Blackwater gang who was patrolling nearby saw Ji and immediately scolded her. "I'm here to kill you," Ji said straightforwardly. That was indeed his goal. Those patrolling people couldn't help but be stunned. This brat who came out of nowhere actually said that he wanted to kill them. They seemed to have heard a very funny joke, and when they came back to their senses, they all started laughing. "I'm going to die of laughter. Is this brat dreaming? Brat, scram back to where you came from. Hurry up and scram. We don't have time to play around with you." Those people didn't put Ji in their eyes. They were in a good mood today, otherwise, they would have already made a move on this reckless brat. Ji didn't say anything else, and was prepared to kill these people who were talking nonsense. From the beginning, she could sense that the 5 people in front of her were only at the 8th or 9th level of the defensive Profound Realm. Ding. Host has used the low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art obtained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has used the low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art obtained 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations, host. The low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art has successfully broken through to the Mastery realm. The long spear in Ji's hand flashed with a cold light, and the cold air penetrated the bones. With a few quick strikes, she killed all 5 of them. At the same time, the cold spear art also broke through to the mastery realm. However, the commotion here also attracted the attention of the other members of the Blackwater gang. More and more people rushed out from various buildings, and many of them were of the Tongxian realm. Where did this guy come from? How dare he cause trouble in our Blackwater gang? Damn it, those 5 brothers were actually killed by this brat. Kill that brat and avenge our brothers. A group of people held their weapons and aggressively charged towards Gu. Chapter 489. Ding. Host used soul perception, soul power gained experience, 1 by 999 times. Gu used her soul power to sense and realized that the group of people in front of her were only defensive Profound Realm and Tongxian Realm martial practitioners. The Blackwater gang had 3 Spirit Profound Realm martial practitioners, 2 at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm and 1 at the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. However, they did not appear. But for now, it was better to eliminate this group of people first. Ding. Host used the low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host used the low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art. Cold Spear Art gained 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations host, low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art has successfully broken through to the Perfection realm. Ding. Congratulations host, low Profound rank Spear Art Cold Spear Art has successfully broken through to the Perfection realm. Ding. Detected that Cold Spear Art has reached the Perfection realm, automatically upgraded to middle Profound rank Spear Art Froststar Spear Art. Gu held the pure silver spear in her hand and charged into the crowd with an imposing manner that could sweep away 1,000 soldiers. Not a single person could withstand one of her spear. In less than 10 seconds, only half of the hundreds of people were left. The rest were all easily killed by Gu. The 3 Spirit Profound Realm martial practitioners who did not appear previously seemed to be unable to remain calm at this moment. Kid, who are you? One of them wore a black robe and had the strongest aura. His cultivation was at the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm, the highest in the entire Blackwater gang. Obviously, this person should be the gang leader of the Blackwater gang, Luo Xingji. You heard the name Luo Xing from the information dealer before. Previously, he might have taken this Luo Xing seriously. But now that his cultivation had reached the late stage of the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm, he did not need to put Luo Xing in his eyes. You don't need to know who I am because you're going to die soon, Jiyu said indifferently. Looking at the black-clothed youth in front of him, Luo Xing's expression was somewhat ugly. He had already guessed that the person in front of him was the young man who had made a move on the Yarrow family. Before this, he had never thought that this young man's strength would be so strong. I wonder what happened to the 20 or so people led by the vice gang leader. Could it be that they were also? No, it shouldn't be. In any case, the vice sect leader was at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm. No matter how weak he was, he would not have been killed by this young man. Gang leader, let's go take care of that brat first. At this moment, the other 2 men who were at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm spoke up beside Luo Xing. Yes. Luo Xing nodded solemnly. It just so happened that he could send his subordinates to investigate the true background of that young man. After receiving the sect leader's nod, the 2 men at the Spirit Profound Realm immediately used their movement techniques to rush towards Gu. Seeing that the 2 guys at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm wanted to go first, Gu decided to end the battle quickly. The pure silver spear in his hand suddenly disappeared, and immediately after, a green patterned sword appeared out of thin air. Ding. Host has performed Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Host has performed Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations host, the Earth rank medium level sword art Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style has successfully broken through to the Perfection realm. Jiyu did not even use her sword intent. She only relied on the Earth-rank sword art Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style. 2 Earth-ranked sword arts were used consecutively. The 2 men at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm, as well as the rest of the Blackwater Gang members who had yet to reach the Spirit Profound Realm, were all directly burned to ashes under the extreme heat. Not even their bones remained. Only Luo Xing was slightly further away. Furthermore, as he felt that his life was in danger, he reflexively used all his strength to block. Even so, his body still suffered quite a few burn wounds. The Blackwater Gang was not that easy to join, so there were not many people. Originally, there were only 100 or 200 people. Now, only Luo Xing was left. Looking at the incomparably tragic scene in front of him, Luo Xing's entire body stiffened. His face was filled with a dazed and helpless expression. He did not expect that such a scene would happen. In an instant, he was the only one left in the entire Blackwater Gang. Luo Xing did not even have the chance to use the Blackwater Gang's strongest trump card, the Blackwater Formation. This was because the Blackwater Formation required at least 2 Spirit Profound Realm Martial Cultivators and 10 Tongxian Realm Martial Cultivators to be able to use it. But now, he was the only one left. How could he fight this? How the F***CK could he fight this? Luo Xing's heart was crumbling. His mentality had already crumbled, and he had completely lost his will to fight. Ding. Host has performed Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style has obtained 999 times of proficiency experience. Ding. Host has activated 70% Sword Dao True Meaning. 70% Sword Dao True Meaning has obtained 999 times of proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations host, 70% Sword Dao True Meaning has successfully broken through to 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. This time, Jiyu's sword attack was instantaneous. Furthermore, it was accompanied by Sword Dao True Meaning, intending to kill Luo Xing in one strike. Perhaps Luo Xing had given up on resisting, or perhaps Luo Xing did not even have the time to react. Luo Xing could not resist at all, and his throat was easily slit by Jiyu's sword. Today, one of the major powers in Chaos City, the Blackwater Gang, was completely annihilated. Chapter 490. After annihilating the Blackwater Gang, Jiyu kept everyone's storage rings. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, 1 by 999 times. Jiyu opened everyone's storage rings one by one to see what was inside. Not to mention the various treasures, he found a treasure map in Luo Xing's storage ring. Ding. Host has taken a look at the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations host, you have successfully comprehended the Land of Extreme Frost treasure map. At this time, Jiyu realized. The Land of Extreme Frost treasure map that he obtained from the black-robed old man, who was also the deputy leader of the Blackwater Gang, was only a part of the entire treasure map. But these 2 pieces of treasure map were still not the complete map. Jiyu guessed that there should be 1 or 2 pieces missing. But it didn't matter. Only the 2 pieces of treasure map in his hands could roughly pinpoint the location. At most, it would take a little more time to find it. After that, Jiyu took out all the pills in the storage rings and consumed them. Ding. Host has consumed a 3rd grade pill, gaining 999 times cultivation experience. Ding. Host has consumed a 4th grade pill, gaining 999 times cultivation experience. Ding. Congratulations host, martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Ding. Congratulations host, martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. The pills in the storage rings of these Blackwater Gang members were not few, but not many. Therefore, Jiyu's breakthrough in martial arts cultivation was not too explosive. To be precise, these guys had everything in their storage rings. Gold coins, Pills, treasures, diagrams, materials, all kinds of things. Not many, so there were not many pills. During this trip to the fringe, Ji-yu had obtained a huge amount of valuable items. If he sold all of them for gold coins, the total amount of gold coins would be unimaginable. Not only that, but his overall strength had also increased by several times. It could be said that he was extremely satisfied with the harvest of this trip. Next, Ji-yu prepared to head to the land of extreme frost to search for the hidden treasure. There was no reason to stay in the Chaos City any longer. Although the Blackwater Gang wasn't the only major power in the City of Chaos, he had no enmity with the other powers. As long as others didn't provoke him, he wouldn't go looking for trouble. At this moment, Ji-yu turned around and left. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth Step Shadowless Lightning Flash is 1 by 999 times. However, not long after, Ji-yu was slapped in the face at the speed of light. A group of people appeared in front of him. They looked like the Green Cloud Gang from last time. Ji-yu frowned slightly. What are these people from the Green Cloud Gang doing here? Don't say that they are here to find trouble with him. The grey-robed old man that Ji-yu met before was also among the Green Cloud Gang. Why are you here? The grey-robed old man exclaimed when he saw Ji-yu. Deputy gang leader, you know him? A green-robed man asked curiously when he saw that the grey-robed old man knew the unfamiliar youth. Gang leader, this is the youth I was talking about earlier. The grey-robed old man explained. The green-robed man who was called gang leader was naturally the Green Cloud Gang's gang leader. So it's him. The green-robed man couldn't help but be slightly shocked. I'm just here to do something. Ji-yu said indifferently, but you guys, what are you doing here? We have something to do with the Blackwater Gang. The grey-robed old man replied vaguely. He was more concerned about why this black-robed youth would appear near the Blackwater Gang. Could it be that he was here to settle accounts with the Blackwater Gang? And he even brought his own little sister. He looked at the little sister beside the black-robed youth. Although her appearance was a little special, she was just a weak girl who didn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. This made him very puzzled. You are here to find the Blackwater Gang for something? Ji-yu smiled slightly. Then I'm sorry, I have just sent them on their way. This understatement shocked everyone present in the Green Cloud Gang. They almost thought that they had heard wrongly. This youth meant that those people from the Blackwater Gang had already died in the hands of this youth. What nonsense is that kid talking about over there? He wants to lie to us. Does he really think that we are all 3-year-old children? Gang leader, deputy gang leader, let's deal with that kid first. Yes, this kid really dares to act all pretentious. At least let him learn a lesson. However, almost no one believed it. Only a small group of people who had seen Ji-yu before held a skeptical attitude. The rest of the people suggested to the green-robed man and the grey-robed old man. After all, the Blackwater Gang had several Spirit Profound Realm experts. The Blackwater Gang leader's cultivation had even reached the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. To defeat the entire Blackwater Gang, one would need to at least have the strength of the 3rd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Those who had not seen Ji-yu's strength would not think that someone could reach the Spirit Profound Realm at this age. Chapter 491. Hearing the others provoking him, the grey-robed old man's face immediately became ugly. Shut up. The grey-robed old man scolded. He really wanted to kill these idiots on the spot. They dared to say anything. If they really angered the black-robed youth, they would all suffer. Probably only the gang leader could stop him. No one expected that the vice gang leader would suddenly fly into a rage. Although they didn't know what was going on, they all obediently shut their mouths. As the gang leader, the green-robed man was also speechless to his subordinates. Although he hadn't seen the black-robed youth's strength with his own eyes, hearing the vice-gang leader's words, he was definitely not an existence to be trifled with. Young master, Please don't take it to heart." The people next to him all shut up. The grey-robed old man then turned to Jiyu and said. Jiyu was silent. From the beginning, he didn't take these people seriously at all. "If there's nothing else, I'll leave first." Jiyu was too lazy to continue talking nonsense with these people and prepared to leave. "Of course there's nothing else, young master, please leave," the vice gang leader hurriedly said. It would be best if this youth could leave quickly. He couldn't rest assured if he stayed here for even a second. Then, Jiyu didn't talk nonsense and directly passed by those people of the Green Cloud Gang. Ding! The host has taken a step. The superior Earth rank movement technique Shadowless Thunderflash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has taken a step. The superior Earth rank movement technique Shadowless Thunderflash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Letting Jiyu walk past those people didn't dare to say a word. However, they weren't afraid of Jiyu, but the vice gang leader. Seeing that the black-robed youth left, the grey-robed old man suddenly didn't worry so much. The green-robed man also breathed a sigh of relief. Then, those people of the Green Cloud Gang continued to walk towards the Blackwater Gang. On the way, there were still some people whispering below. What happened to the vice gang leader just now? Why was he suddenly so angry? I don't know. It's a little strange. The vice leader seems to be very afraid of that young man. Hey, don't you know? Not long ago, the deputy leader of the Blackwater Gang was killed by a black-clothed youth. Wait, the black-clothed youth you're talking about, could it be that youth from earlier? The people below were whispering to each other. Finally, someone told the truth. All of a sudden, the group of people felt that it was unbelievable. They were very clear that the Blackwater Gang's vice gang leader was at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm, yet he was killed by a young man. That black-clothed youth just now couldn't be more than 18 years old, at most 16 or 17 years old. To be able to kill the Blackwater Gang's vice gang leader meant that his true strength was at least at the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. In other words, the black-clothed youth, who was not even 18 years old, already possessed a cultivation at the second level of the Spirit Profound Realm. This caused them to simply not dare to believe it. This was truly too shocking. In the entire Bedlam lands, they had never heard of any young genius whose cultivation had reached the Spirit Profound Realm. However, since even the vice gang leader was so afraid, they could only believe it. After a while, the Green Cloud Gang arrived at the Blackwater Gang's location. However, when they looked over, they didn't see a single living figure. They only saw corpses all over the ground. So much so that only a few bone fragments were left of the corpses. It looked like they died very tragically. Everyone from the Green Cloud Gang stood in place blankly, dumbstruck by the scene in front of them. Was it really done by that youth just now? Including the grey-robed elder and the green-robed man, these two Green Cloud Gang's vice gang leader and gang leader were shocked by the scene in front of them. That black-clothed youth just now, who was he? The green-robed man muttered dreamily. I'm not sure either. I don't even know where he came from or what his name is. The grey-robed elder barely regained his senses and replied. From start to finish, that black-clothed youth's identity was a mystery. The green-robed man suddenly thought of something. He hurriedly used his soul force to sense the surroundings. He immediately realized that other than the Green Cloud Gang members, there wasn't a single living person in the surroundings. In other words, even the Blackwater Gang's gang leader, Luo Xing, was also killed by that black-clothed youth. If I'm not wrong, the Blackwater Gang's gang leader and vice gang leader's treasure map should have been taken by that black-clothed youth. The green-robed man pondered for a while, then said solemnly, when the time comes, we will probably meet that black-clothed youth in the extremely cold land. But even so, we shouldn't provoke that youth. Chapter 492. Understood. The grey-robed old man also nodded solemnly. The reason why their Green Cloud Gang had mustered so many people to come here this time was because of the treasure map of the Arctic land. The Land of Extreme Frost's treasure map actually had a total of 4 pieces. The 4 pieces were combined together to accurately find the specific location of the treasure. But now, the 2 pieces of the Blackwater Gang's treasure map had been taken away by that young man. Their plan had to be changed. It was definitely unrealistic to ask that young man for it. Later, that young man would also destroy the entire Green Cloud Gang. But they couldn't give up the treasure in the land of extreme frost. Although they only had 1 piece of the map in their hands, and the other piece was in the hands of other forces, they could barely find the approximate location. In this situation, they could only make do with it. As for the other people of the Green Cloud Gang, especially those who wanted to provoke Jiyu before, they all felt very lucky. Fortunately, the deputy gang leader was there, otherwise they would be in trouble. At this moment, Jiyu had already gone far away. Now that it was already late, he casually found an inn to stay. At night, there was nothing to do, so Jiyu prepared to start refining pills. He had countless materials in his storage ring, and it was time to use some of them. Immediately, Jiyu took out the alchemy furnace and a pile of alchemy materials from his storage ring. This pile of alchemy materials were all materials for the 4th grade pill Shen enhancement pill. Ding! Detected that the host has started refining the 4th grade pill Shen enhancement pill, triggering a success rate of 999 times, accompanied by the system's prompt of 999 times success rate. Jiyu began to refine the pill. Ding! The host has refined a 4th grade pill Shen enhancement pill. Alchemy attainment pill has gained 999 times experience. Ding! The host has refined a 4th grade pill Shen enhancement pill. Alchemy attainment pill has gained 999 times experience. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Alchemy attainment pill has successfully broken through to the 5th grade superior alchemist. A total of 10 Shen enhancement pills were refined. Jiyu's alchemy attainment also had a breakthrough at this time. Then, he took all 10 Shen enhancement pills one after another. Ding! Host has consumed a grade 4 pill, Shen enhancing pill. Martial arts cultivation has increased by 999 times. Ding! Host has consumed a grade 4 pill, Shen enhancing pill. Martial arts cultivation has increased by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. After consuming the 8th Profound Enhancing Pill, Jiyu's cultivation broke through to the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. At this time, it was still not too late. Jiyu began to cultivate the Heaven Splitter. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. However, it was not so easy to break through the Heaven Splitter. Although he felt that he was close to breaking through, he estimated that he would need to cultivate for another day or 2 before he could break through. It was already late at night. Jiyu should go to bed. When he woke up the next day, he washed up simply and ate breakfast. After that, he headed towards the direction of the land of extreme cold. In the entire southern region, the land of extreme cold was the northernmost place. He called for a horse carriage with good quality horses and left the chaotic lands for the land of extreme cold. In the carriage, Jiyu did not waste any time and continued to cultivate the Sky Splitter. He wanted to strive to raise his physique as soon as possible. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained from the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1 by 999 times. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter to the small success realm. This time, Jiyu finally succeeded in breaking through. Of course, it also took a day and a half. The carriage was almost at the land of extreme cold. Jiyu could feel that his physique had already reached the 3rd grade of the profound body. Ding! The host has cultivated profound chi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation is 560 by 999 times. Ding. The host has cultivated profound chi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation is 560 by 999 times. Before getting off the carriage, Ji tried to test the cultivation speed of his physique. Obviously, his cultivation speed had increased again. Young master, the land of extreme cold is just ahead. At this time, the coachman's embarrassed voice came from outside. This one won't be going in. At the same time, he was very worried that this young master would not be willing. If he was not willing, then he would be in trouble. However, there was nothing he could do. Okay. Ji did not mind and directly brought Xiao Jiyu down the carriage. He could understand why the coachman did not dare to bring them into the land of extreme cold. After all, the temperature in the land of extreme cold was too low. It was very easy for horses to freeze and not move forward. That coachman's cultivation was not high either. He was only at the defensive profound realm. It was very dangerous to enter a place like the land of extreme cold. After getting off the carriage, the journey to the land of extreme cold was not very far. Even if they walked, it would take at most half an hour. Moreover, Xiao Jiyu could fly with him. There was no need to make things difficult for others. Chapter 493. With Xiaogu's help, Jiyu flew to the land of extreme frost. According to the 2 treasure maps, Jiyu directly asked Xiao Jiyu to bring him to the approximate location of the treasure. Looking down from the sky, it was a glacier, and the surrounding temperature was also dropping rapidly. When they arrived at a suitable location, Xiao Jiyu descended. This is the place. Jiyu looked at the snow-white ground below his feet. When he looked up, there was only snow and ice. Although the treasure trove should be nearby, they still had no idea where it was. Ding. Host has taken a step. Earth rank inferior movement technique shadowless lightning flash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Earth rank inferior movement technique shadowless lightning flash has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After walking for a long time, Jiyu still didn't find a place where the treasure was hidden. Then, an idea surfaced in his mind. That was to use the purple glazed pupil's ability to search. Ding. Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After a few rounds of searching, Jiyu finally found a place hidden under the ice and snow that looked the most like a treasure trove. He walked to the top of the treasure trove. Then, the next step was to break through the layers of thick ice and snow below his feet. This was at least a dozen meters deep, and it wouldn't be easy to go down. Ding. Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist art solitary killing fist art. Solitary killing fist art has gained 999 times proficiency experience. Ding. Congratulations to Host. The Earth rank inferior fist art solitary killing fist art has successfully broken through to the mastery stage. With a punch, he only broke through about 2 meters of the ice and snow below his feet. Jiyu couldn't help but feel a little surprised. No matter what, this was an Earth rank inferior fist art, but it only broke through less than 2 meters of the ice and snow below his feet. Perhaps it was because this ice and snow had settled in this extremely cold place for hundreds of thousands of years, and its degree of toughness was extraordinary. Jiyu could only continue to punch down. In any case, he still had a lot of Xian Qi in his body. Ding. Host has performed the Earth lower level fist art solitary slaughter fist art. The solitary slaughter fist art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Host has performed the Earth lower level fist art solitary slaughter fist art. The solitary slaughter fist art has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations, Host. The inferior Earth rank fist art, solitary slaughter fist art, has successfully broken through to the impeccable stage. After a few more punches, Jiyu finally broke through the layer of ice and arrived at the location of the treasure that she had discovered through her amethyst pupil. Immediately after, a system notification sounded in his mind. Ding! The host has taken a look at the 5th stage concealment array and triggered 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully comprehending the 5th stage concealment formation. At this moment, Jiyu found out that there was actually a grade 5 concealment array underneath. It was no wonder that when he used the amethyst pupil, he could only see that this place looked like a treasure trove. Ding! The host has successfully deciphered the 5th stage concealment array. Array formation proficiency has gained 999 times experience point. After learning the deciphering method, Jiyu spent some time to decipher the 5th stage concealment array. Then, a place that looked like an ice cellar appeared in front of him. Because this ice cellar was more than 10 meters deep from the ground, the environment was relatively dark. Ding! The host has activated her spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power has gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately took out a night luminescent pearl from her storage ring. Although this night luminescent pearl was not particularly bright, it was enough to illuminate this ice cellar. Jiyu originally thought that she would be able to find the treasure hidden here after entering this ice cellar. In the end, she discovered that there was nothing in this ice cellar. Forget about treasures, there was not even a single gold coin. That's not right. Since there is a treasure map, there can't be nothing here. Jiyu still did not believe it. This treasure map of the land of extreme frost could not be completely useless, right? Ding! The host has used the amethyst pupil. Amethyst pupil has gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Ding! The host has used the spiritual perception. Spiritual perception has gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately activated the amethyst pupil again. At the same time, she used her spiritual perception to search for any possible secrets in this ice cellar. In the next instant, she sensed a fluctuation of Xian Qi behind her. Following her spiritual perception to search for the Xian Qi fluctuation, Jiyu saw a wall of ice in front of her. At this moment, the amethyst pupil just so happened to be in its active state, so he immediately saw through the wall of ice. There was a door that contained Xian Qi fluctuations. He was instantly overjoyed. He had finally found it. Chapter 494. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. Jiyu used his fist technique and smashed through the ice wall in front of him. Then, a door containing mysterious Xian Qi energy appeared in front of him. However, this door did not seem to be easy to open. Jiyu looked carefully and found that there were 4 shallow grooves on the door. One of the grooves seemed to be about the size of a treasure map. Ding! Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power gained experience, 1 by 999 times. After discovering this, Jiyu immediately took out the 2 treasure maps from the storage ring. He compared them with the grooves on the wall and found that they were almost the same size. However, he only had 2 treasure maps and there were 4 grooves on the door. Looks like I'm still missing 2 treasure maps. This is a little troublesome, Jiyu thought to himself. Where could he find the 2 missing pieces of the treasure map? Jiyu was at a loss for a moment. He thought about it and decided to try to break open the door with force. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. However, this punch did not cause any damage to the door in front of him. The strangest thing was that it gave Jiyu the feeling that he hit it, but in fact, he did not hit it at all. It was as if there was a layer of invisible film in front of him. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. Ding! Host has used the Earth rank inferior fist technique solitary killing fist technique. The solitary killing fist technique has gained 999 times the experience. Ding! Congratulations host, The Earth-rank inferior fist technique solitary killing fist technique has successfully broken through to the greater perfection stage. Ding. It has been detected that the solitary killing fist technique has reached the perfection stage and has automatically upgraded to the Earth-rank intermediate fist technique cloud extinction fist technique. No matter how many punches Jiyu threw, it was useless. The door in front of him didn't even shake. Although Jiyu's greatest killing move wasn't the solitary slaughter fist art, there was no need to continue trying. The solitary slaughter fist art was an inferior Earth-rank fist art. Its power was not weak, but it was unable to shake this door in the slightest. Even if he swapped out his sword and used his strongest killing move, it would still be a waste of energy. From the looks of it, Jiyu had no choice but to collect the remaining 2 treasure maps. Other than this, he had no other choice. However, at this moment, Jiyu suddenly sensed that someone was approaching from the ground. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately used her soul force to sense the situation. To his surprise, he discovered that it was the Green Cloud Gang. Not only that, there was also a group of people on the other side, but he didn't know what kind of power they were. Jiyu could sense that among the group of people on the other side, the strongest one was at the peak of the 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. Aside from this person, there were 4 others whose cultivation was around the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm. The rest were all at the Tongxian Realm. This power, as a whole, was obviously stronger than the Green Cloud Gang. However, he didn't know what kind of power they were, nor did he know where they came from. However, no matter who they were, since they were able to find this place, it meant that there was a high possibility that they had a treasure map. If there were no surprises, the Green Cloud Gang had a treasure map, and the other unknown power also had a treasure map. Jiyu already had a plan in his heart, waiting for those people to come down by themselves. Not long after, the people from the Green Cloud Gang met with people from another unknown faction. Jiyu could sense that these 2 groups of people quickly reached a consensus. Without any fighting, they came down to the ice cellar together. "You're finally here." At this moment, the corner of Jiyu's mouth slightly raised. Hearing the somewhat familiar youth's voice, the Green Cloud Gang's group all trembled. This voice, wasn't it the voice of the black-clothed youth from before? The Green Cloud Gang's gang leader, which was the green-robed man, was the first to recognize that this was the black-clothed youth's voice. His gaze turned to the source of the voice in shock, and discovered that there was a black-clothed youth holding a night pearl in one hand, and holding a bewitching girl in the other hand standing inside. He couldn't help but frown. He didn't expect that this youth would actually come here so quickly. Moreover, he glanced around and discovered that the treasures here seemed to have been swept clean by that youth. Regarding this, he could only admit defeat. This trip could be considered as a waste. Apart from feeling very regretful, he didn't have any other thoughts. He couldn't possibly ask that youth to hand over the treasures, right? Wasn't that courting death? The entire Blackwater gang was directly wiped out by the other party. If their Green Cloud Gang provoked this youth, their end wouldn't be good. The second to react was the deputy gang leader, the grey-robed elder. He and the gang leader had the same thoughts. Anyway, no matter what, it was fine as long as they didn't provoke that youth. After all, life was more important than anything else. As for the rest of the Green Cloud Gang members, they didn't dare to have any thoughts at all. At the moment when they heard the black-clothed youth's voice, they already had the idea of escaping in their hearts. What happened to the Blackwater Gang last time brought too much shock to their hearts. In their eyes, the black-clothed youth was simply like a killing god. Chapter 495. Everyone from the Green Cloud Gang stood in place, not daring to act rashly. They were hoping that the gang leader would immediately order them to leave. The man in green was hesitating on what to do next. When he was on the ground, he thought that the ice hole was naturally formed, so he went down directly. It would be difficult to go up again. Now that he thought about it, he felt that it was more likely to be caused by the black-clothed youth. He was hesitating. Should he bring everyone out of here, or should he observe the situation first? At the same time, another group of people from an unknown power was completely different. An eagle-faced man who seemed to be the leader was the one who Ji Yu sensed was at the peak of the second level of the spirit profound realm. He observed the surrounding situation and immediately determined that the black-clothed youth who came out of nowhere took all the treasures here. Kid, you should understand that a man's wealth is his own ruin, right? The eagle-faced man said to Ji Yu in a threatening tone. Oh no. Hearing this, the man in green from the Green Cloud Gang immediately cursed in his heart. He forgot to remind those guys from the Chaotian gang not to provoke the black-clothed youth. Chaotian Ying, shut up. The man in green immediately sent a message to the gang leader of the Chaotian gang, Chaotian Ying. What? Hearing such an anxious voice, Chaotian Ying was slightly stunned. Don't provoke that black-clothed youth. The man in green sent another message. Shu Yunqing, don't play tricks here. I'll give you a portion of the treasures later. Chaotian Ying was clearly unhappy. He thought that Shu Yunqing was worried that he would take all the treasures on the black-clothed youth, so she deliberately said those strange words. After all, what could such an ordinary youth do to him? Shu Yunqing was anxious to death. This Chaotian Ying was really brainless. Just as she was about to send another message, the black-clothed youth suddenly spoke again. You should have treasure maps on you, right? Ji Yu said. So what if we do? Chaotian Ying said coldly, Kid, I advise you to quickly hand over the treasures, or else I'll take action. It's over. At this moment, Shu Yunqing was in complete despair. Now that Chao Tianying had offended that black-clothed youth, the entire Chaotian gang would probably be annihilated. Although the life and death of the Chaotian faction had nothing to do with him, the main thing was that it might affect the Green Cloud faction. Hand over the treasure map, and I can let you live. Ji Yu said calmly. Chao Tianying almost thought that he had misheard. This brat actually dared to say such words in front of him? Brat, I think you are tired of living. Chao Tianying's expression darkened. Sect leader, don't waste your breath on that brat. Just kill him and take his treasures. That's right. I don't know how that brat found this place. He actually got the treasure first. Fortunately, we came in time. Otherwise, this brat would have taken advantage of us. The rest of the Chaotian faction members were also clamoring. It was very obvious that they did not put the black-clothed youth in their eyes. On the other hand, Shu Yunqing from the Green Cloud Gang was pleasantly surprised. Our Green Cloud Gang will hand over the treasure map. Shu Yunqing immediately said in a low voice. She also took out the treasure map from the storage ring and held it in her hands. The deputy sect leader, the grey-robed elder, was also very happy. This time, their Green Cloud Gang could save their lives. When the group of Chaotian faction members heard Shu Yunqing's words and saw her attitude, they all suspected that the sect leader of the Green Cloud Gang was stupid. Sect leader Shu, is there something wrong with you? Chao Tianying could not help but ask Shu Yunqing. It was fine that Shu Yunqing wanted to stop him from making a move on the black-clothed youth, but now she obediently handed over the treasure map to the black-clothed youth. Even if the treasure map was no longer useful, it was still too abnormal. He felt that this Shu Yunqing might have gone crazy. Shu Yunqing was too lazy to pay attention to that Chao Tianying. Right now, she did not want to have anything to do with this idiot. The more she distanced herself from him, the better. This idiot was courting death. She would regret it later. Shu Yunqing could only try her best to please the black-clothed youth and save the lives of the Green Cloud Gang members. As for the life and death of Chao Tianying and the Chaotian faction, it had nothing to do with her. Very good, all of you stand still. Ji Yu nodded slightly to Shu Yunqing and said, I will solve a small problem first. The small problem he was talking about was naturally the other force that did not obey him. Hearing the black-clothed youth's words, Shu Yunqing's heart could not help but thump. It was obvious that this black-clothed youth was going to make a move on those people from the Chaotian faction. Before it started, she had already predicted what the outcome would be. Chapter 496. At this time, Chao Tianying and the Chaotian gang had not realized the severity of the situation. Ji Yu wanted to use his Earth-rank sword technique to kill these guys, But he thought about the power of the earth-rank sword technique, especially the high temperature, which could easily melt the surrounding ice. When the situation became chaotic, it would be troublesome to get the Clear Sky Gang's treasure map. He might as well go and get it now. Ding. Host has used the Earth-ranked upper-class Shadowless Lightning Flash. Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained 999 times experience point. Ji-Yu's figure flashed and snatched the treasure map from Shu Yunqing's hand. At the same time, he left behind a sentence. "You can leave now." Hearing this voice, Shu Yunqing suddenly realized that the treasure map in his hand had been taken away by the black-clothed youth. He was stunned for a moment, then immediately ordered the people behind him, "Let's go." The Clear Sky Gang reacted one after another and used their movement techniques to climb up. At the same time, the Azure Streak sword appeared in Ji-Yu's hand. Ding. Host used Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host used 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. 80% Sword Dao True Meaning gained 999 times experience. In almost an instant, Ji-Yu had already slashed out a golden sword wave. Like a stormy sea, it swallowed the Clear Sky Gang. In this gloomy ice cellar, a dazzling golden light suddenly flashed, dazzling the Clear Sky Gang. Most of them were swallowed up before they realized what was happening. Only Chao Tianying and the other 4 who were at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm survived. Even so, the 4 of them were heavily injured. Only Chao Tianying's situation was better, but he was not optimistic, his face was pale. At this moment, he realized that his subordinates were almost all dead. Only then did he realize that he had provoked a monster. At the same time, the ice layer above was melting quickly. However, Ji-Yu had profound chi protecting his body, so the melting water could not touch him at all. Ding. Host used Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky Second style gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has activated 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. 80% Sword Dao True Meaning has been increased by 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the greater perfection stage of the Earth-rank medium-level sword technique, Brilliant Sun in the Sky, Second style. Ding. It has been detected that the second style of the Brilliant Sun in the Sky has reached perfection. Automatically upgraded to the third style of the superior Earth-ranked sword technique, Brilliant Sun in the Sky. Ji-Yu didn't give the 5 people who were still alive a chance to catch their breaths. She used her sword technique again. At the same time, there was a breakthrough in his swordsmanship, and it advanced to the superior Earth-rank Brilliant Sun in the Sky, third style. Just as the 4 first-level Spirit Profound Realm cultivators from Chaotian faction were about to take a healing pill to alleviate their heavy injuries, they saw the same golden sword wave as the one before. Their eyes were filled with despair and fear. No. No. The sword wave swept over, swallowing these screams in an instant. Chao Tianying subconsciously used a defensive mystic skill to resist, but how could Chao Tianying's flustered actions be able to block it? Chao Tianying's defensive mystic skill shattered like tofu. After a while, his injuries worsened. His skin and flesh were lacerated, and there were burn marks all over his body. In particular, his internal organs were almost unable to hold on any longer. "You. Who exactly are you?" Chao Tianying spat out a mouthful of blood and said weakly, "There's no need for you to know." Ji-Yu's expression was indifferent. Ding. Host has used the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunder Flash. Shadowless Thunder Flash has gained 999 times experience. Before he finished speaking, he had already appeared in front of Chao Tianying. Ding. Host has used the Brilliant Sun in the Sky, third style. Brilliant Sun in the Sky, third style has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has activated 80% Sword Dao True Meaning. 80% Sword Dao True Meaning has gained 999 times experience. Following that, he instantly released a sword and killed Chao Tianying. At the same time, the surrounding ice layer was also melting at a very fast speed. After a while, the entire ice cellar would be filled up. Ji-Yu quickly snatched the storage ring from Chao Tianying's hand. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold grade spiritual power has gained experience, 1 by 999 times. He immediately opened the storage ring to take a look. Indeed, the fourth treasure map was inside. As for the storage rings of the others, he did not have time to look for them because the ice layer above was collapsing and melting. The most important thing right now was to hurry and open that door. Ding! Host has used the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunder Flash. Shadowless Thunder Flash has gained 999 times experience. Ji-Yu held Xiao Gu's hand and used her movement technique to arrive in front of the door. She took out all 4 pieces of the treasure map and placed them in the 4 grooves of the door in front of her. At this moment, the Xian Qi in this door started to flow restlessly. Chapter 497. On the other side. Before the ice layer began to melt, the Green Cloud Gang's leader, Shu Yunqing, and the grey-robed elder had already come out of the ice cave. In the next second, Shu Yunqing was the first to feel the ice layer below shaking faintly. He immediately realized that the situation was not good. "Come up quickly," Shu Yunqing hurriedly shouted to his subordinates who had not come out yet. The Green Cloud Gang members hurriedly increased their speed and used all their strength to climb out of the ice cave. When the last person came up, the layer of ice on the ground had already begun to collapse. "Spread out quickly." Seeing this, Shu Yunqing immediately ordered. Under Shu Yunqing's order, the Green Cloud Gang members scattered in all directions. In a short while, the ice layer had completely collapsed. The Green Cloud Gang members' hearts raced, and they felt some lingering fear. This is probably caused by that black-robed young man. Yes. Those people from the Chaotian gang should not be able to come up. The grey-robed elder and Shu Yunqing both stared blankly at the ground below. With such momentum, even if the Chaotian gang was not completely wiped out, there would not be many people left alive. At this moment, Shu Yunqing was especially glad that he had always avoided becoming enemies with the black-robed young man. Otherwise, their Green Cloud Gang would only end up worse than the Chaotian gang. Moreover, it was all thanks to that black-robed young man. Their Green Cloud Gang lacked 2 powerful competitors, the Blackwater Gang and the Chaotian Gang. At the same time, Ji-Yu had already used the 4 treasure maps to open the door. However, what appeared before him was actually a teleportation circle. Ding! The host has taken a look at the 7th grade teleportation circle, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully comprehending the 7th grade teleportation circle. Ji-Yu was instantly shocked. This was actually a 7th grade teleportation circle. This was the first time he had seen a 7th grade teleportation circle. Could it be that the place that this 7th grade teleportation circle could teleport to was the place where the treasure was hidden? Ji-Yu was already somewhat impatient to go in and take a look. Moreover, this ice cave had already been flooded by snow. He immediately held Xiao Gu's hand and walked into the teleportation circle. At this moment, Ji-Yu's eyes were in a daze. In the next moment, he and Xiao Ji-Yu appeared in an illusory space. The surroundings were pure white, as if there was no end in sight. Meanwhile, in front of Ji-Yu and Xiao Ji-Yu, there was only a spiritual projection. Other than that, there was nothing else. It's been 10,000 years. Finally, someone has come. The voice was a little hazy, and it was hard to tell whether it was a man or a woman. "Who are you?" Ji-Yu had a vigilant look in her eyes. This was because he couldn't see through the soul phantom in front of him at all. Ding! Host has used Purple Glazed Pupil. Purple Glazed Pupil experience gained, 1*999x. Even with the help of the amethyst eyes, he still couldn't see through it. Ji-Yu, this thing is very strong. At this moment, Xiao Gu's voice sounded from the depths of Ji-Yu's mind. Ji-Yu immediately became more cautious. Even Xiao Ji-Yu felt apprehension towards this soul projection. "Don't be so nervous. I won't harm you." The soul phantom spoke again. "So, why did you trick us into coming here?" Ji-Yu asked directly. In this space, apart from the soul phantom in front of them, there were no treasures at all. It was obvious that she had been tricked. There were no treasures hidden in this space at all. I'm not tricking you. Rather, my remnant soul is the treasure here. Remnant soul. This was slightly different from Ji-Yu's guess. He originally thought that this soul phantom was the soul of some super expert. He didn't expect it to be a remnant soul. A remnant soul, simply put, was a damaged soul. This was only a damaged soul, but it could make Xiao Jiyu feel apprehensive. Then, if it was a complete soul, how powerful would it be? And when it was alive, thinking of this, Jiyu didn't dare to continue thinking about it. Could it be that you have some benefits for me? Jiyu still maintained her vigilance and asked. Of course there are benefits, but you need to agree to a condition of mine. What condition? Jiyu asked. Let me live in your body. Hearing this condition of the soul phantom, Jiyu immediately frowned. This remnant soul wanted to live in his body. To put it bluntly, it wanted to live in his soul. Not to mention whether it could successfully live in his body under the obstruction of the system. If it succeeded, he would be at risk of being possessed. How could he agree to such a condition? But just as Jiyu was about to speak, the soul phantom said, the method is very simple. As long as you make this soul rope recognize you as its master, then I will enter this soul rope. That's all. At this moment, a red string appeared in Jiyu's hand out of thin air. He had just glanced at it when the system's notification sounded in his mind. Ding. Host has taken a look at the soul rope, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations to host, you have successfully comprehended the soul rope. At this moment, Jiyu not only knew what this soul rope was, but he also knew how to make this soul rope recognize him as its master. Chapter 498. If Jiyu said that this soul rope had successfully recognized him as its master, then the remnant soul would be able to use the soul rope to reside in his body. There was no need for it to enter his soul. However, the main question was what exactly this remnant soul wanted to do. So, what is the purpose of you residing in my body, and what are the benefits? Jiyu asked. The remnant soul said, the purpose is naturally to leave this place. As for the benefits, I am your greatest benefit. Jiyu was speechless. He still didn't know what was going on with this remnant soul. What kind of benefit was this? The remnant soul seemed to know what Jiyu was thinking. It then said, whether you believe me or not, if you don't agree to my conditions, you won't be able to leave this place. Because I can control that teleportation formation at will. Think about it carefully. Hearing the remnant soul's words, Jiyu couldn't help but frown. Because he could feel that the teleportation formation was indeed in a closed state. Let's talk about it in detail first. What benefits do you have for me? Jiyu could only ask. For example, that friend beside you is a calamity bone dragon, right? She's about to break through to the 6th stage demonic power. I can help her. The remnant soul said. About to break through? Jiyu looked at Xiao Jiyu in surprise. Also, this remnant soul could tell that Xiao Gu's original body was a calamity bone dragon. He had never told this remnant soul before. Yes. Xiao Jiyu nodded. This breakthrough to the 6th stage demonic power will bring quite a bit of danger to your friend. The remnant soul continued. Is that true? Jiyu immediately asked Xiao Jiyu. Yes, Xiao Jiyu nodded again. At this moment, Xiao Gu's expression was somewhat abnormal. With Jiyu's understanding of Xiao Jiyu, if Xiao Jiyu really showed such an expression, then something very serious was definitely going to happen. Jiyu pondered for a moment, then said seriously to the remnant soul, if you really help her, I will agree to your conditions. He had to ensure little Gu's safety. After all, he had established a soul contract with Xiao Jiyu. Once one of them was in mortal danger, the other would also have to suffer. Not only that, but he had also gradually begun to view Xiao Jiyu as his family. Even if there was no such thing as a soul contract, it was impossible for him to sit idly by and do nothing about little Gu's matter. Sure. Without any hesitation, the shadow agreed decisively. In about half a day, your friend will break through on her own. By then, I will help her overcome the difficulty. Then I'll wait for half a day. Jiyu said. He planned to wait in this space for half a day. He wouldn't believe it so easily. Only after that remnant soul successfully helped Xiao Jiyu overcome this crisis would he agree to the other party's conditions to prevent the other party from betraying him. Next, Jiyu began to cultivate the Heaven Splitter. Ding. The host has read the third volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the third level of the Sky Splitter is 1*999x. Ding. The host has read the third volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the third level of the Sky Splitter is 1*999x. During this period of time, the remnant soul didn't disturb Jiyu. About half a day later. At this moment, Jiyu suddenly felt an extremely powerful demonic power forming in the space, and it was getting stronger and stronger. He immediately stopped cultivating because it was very likely that Xiao Jiyu was about to break through. It seems that you also felt it. The remnant soul spoke at this moment. But during the period when your friend breaks through to the 6th stage, you have to leave this place temporarily. Why? Jiyu was obviously unwilling. Because the powerful demonic power produced by your friend's breakthrough can tear you apart at any time. The remnant soul said, I don't want you to die here. Jiyu fell into a short period of contemplation. Then, he continued, aren't you afraid that I'll take this opportunity to escape? I feel that you can't abandon your friend. After all, didn't you establish a soul contract with her? The remnant soul said. Hearing this, Jiyu's pupils shrank. Even the matter of the soul contract was seen through by the other party. Jiyu, just listen to this guy and leave this place first. At this moment, Xiao Jiyu suppressed the reluctance in her heart and said to Jiyu. Although she didn't want to be separated from Jiyu, she also felt the terrifying power that was about to be produced in her body. If Jiyu continued to stay in this space, it would indeed be dangerous. She definitely didn't want to see Jiyu get hurt because of her. Okay. Since even Xiao Jiyu said so, Jiyu didn't have anything to say. I've already reopened the teleportation formation. You can directly teleport out. The remnant soul said, after you leave, I'll close the teleportation formation. When your friend successfully breaks through to the 6th stage, I'll reopen the teleportation formation. Jiyu didn't say anything else. Seeing that the teleportation circle had already appeared behind him, he walked towards it. Chapter 499. When he walked into the teleportation circle, Jiyu released his profound qi to surround himself to prevent himself from being soaked by the melted ice. After a while, the scene in front of him changed. When he opened his eyes again, he was back in the ice cellar filled with melted snow. Little Jiyu. Nothing must happen to you. Jiyu looked at the 7th grade teleportation circle in front of him, praying silently in his heart. Next, he could only cultivate while keeping an eye out for the teleportation circle to open again. Ding. Host has read the third volume of Split the Heavens for 1 minute. The experience gained from the third level of Split the Heavens, 1/999 times. Ding. Host has read the third volume of Split the Heavens for 1 minute. The experience gained from the third level of Split the Heavens, 1/999 times. Time slowly passed. 2 to 3 days had already passed. Jiyu's physique broke through again, reaching the 4th grade of the mystic body. The teleportation circle in front of him still had no movement. Jiyu felt that every minute and second that passed was unbearable. Because he had no way of knowing what was happening to little Jiyu in that space. However, what he could be sure of was that little Gu's life was not in danger yet. Otherwise, as the soul contract, he would definitely be affected. Now, Jiyu could only wait slowly. Ding. Host has cultivated profound qi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation, 580/999 times. Ding. Host has cultivated profound qi for 1 minute. The experience gained from martial cultivation, 580/999 times. Ding. Congratulations host. Martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the peak of the 2nd level of the spirit profound realm. Unknowingly, another 2 to 3 days had passed. Jiyu's martial cultivation also had a breakthrough. However, the teleportation circle in front of him still had no movement. He also did not feel anything through the soul contract. In the next moment, Ji-Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. The teleportation circle was opening again. Seeing this, Ji-Yu was overjoyed and hurriedly walked into the teleportation circle. Furthermore, he was not affected, which meant that little Gu's life was not in danger. In other words, he had successfully broken through to the 6th grade. After that, Ji-Yu returned to the white space. However, what appeared in front of him in the next second was a naked Xiao Ji-Yu. Ji-Yu couldn't help but stare blankly and ask, "What's going on? What do you mean, what happened?" Xiao Ji-Yu, on the other hand, was not aware of this. After all, she didn't care whether she wore clothes or not. She didn't have the concept of a normal human being. She felt more comfortable without clothes. "I'm your clothes, why are they all gone?" Ji-Yu regained her senses and asked again. "Oh, you mean the clothes?" They were all destroyed by the uncontrollable violent energy just now. Xiao Ji-Yu explained. "No matter what, it's fine as long as you're fine," Ji-Yu said with a smile. Looking at Xiao Gu's energetic appearance, it seemed that there was nothing wrong with him. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ji-Yu immediately took out a blue and white dress from her storage ring. The white dress that had been destroyed by Xiao Gu's energy just now was the other one. Just as Ji-Yu was about to put on Xiao Gu's clothes, she suddenly discovered that both of Xiao Gu's dragon horns were gone. "Why are your dragon horns gone?" Ji-Yu subconsciously asked. "Dragon horns?" Xiao Ji-Yu rubbed his forehead, and only then did he notice this. "Perhaps it disappeared on its own when I just broke through. My tail is also gone." "That's true." Ji-Yu immediately looked behind Xiao Ji-Yu. Her tail really was gone. This is because she broke through to the 6th stage, and her transformation is even more perfect. At this moment, the remnant soul image opposite her said, "I see." Ji-Yu said. Ding. Host has used purple glazed pupil. Purple glazed pupil experience gained, 1 by 999 times. He immediately used the purple glazed pupil to take a look. Xiao Ji-Yu was indeed a 6th stage demonic beast now. But it took so long. Ji-Yu couldn't help but mutter to herself. It took a total of 4 to 5 days to break through to the 6th stage. 6th stage demonic beast power was equivalent to profound Earth realm human martial artists. This meant that it would take at least 4 to 5 days for him to break through to the profound Earth realm in the future. Your friend seems to have experienced something. For a long time, a large amount of chaotic energy has accumulated in her body, and she can't absorb it. Nothing will happen when her demonic power is low, but when she reaches the 6th stage, this large amount of chaotic energy will explode. The remnant soul image said, "But I've already helped her get rid of the chaotic energy these few days. She's fine now. Thank you, Senior." This was Ji-Yu's heartfelt gratitude. The something that the remnant soul image was talking about should be that Xiao Ji-Yu had been sealed for thousands of years. Moreover, it was in the depths of the Kanglan Empire Academy. That was why she had accumulated such a large amount of chaotic energy. Fortunately, she encountered this remnant soul of an expert and solved it. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. If Xiao Ji-Yu lost her life because of this chaotic energy, then he wouldn't be able to continue living. "So now, can you fulfill your promise?" the remnant soul image asked. "Yes." Ji-Yu nodded without hesitation. Once a promise was made, it was impossible to take it back. Since he had promised the remnant soul image, then he wouldn't go back on his word. He didn't sense any malicious intent from the remnant soul image. Furthermore, the remnant soul image had indeed helped him greatly this time. Saving Xiao Gu's life was equivalent to saving his own life. Ji-Yu immediately took out the red string that the remnant soul image had given him. It was the so-called soul string and prepared to make this soul string recognize him as its master. The method was actually very simple. It was to drip blood to make it recognize him as its master. However, the problem was whether the soul string was willing to recognize him as its master. No matter what, Yu would just give it a try first. He used a hand knife to cut a wound on his fingertip and dripped a drop of blood onto the soul string. Ding. Detected that the host is currently undergoing blood recognition. Blood recognition success rate has increased by 999 times. Hearing the sudden notification from the system, Yu was instantly shocked. He didn't expect that even something like blood recognition could be increased by 999 times through the system. Then, was there any suspense? As expected. After a while, Yu successfully blood recognition on the soul string. I'm done here. It's your turn now. Yu immediately said to the remnant soul image. Okay. The remnant soul image responded. The remnant soul image didn't lie to Yu. When it said that it would directly enter the soul string, it really did. In the blink of an eye, the remnant soul image entered the soul string. Chapter 500. At this moment, although the remnant soul had disappeared from his sight, Yu could clearly sense the existence of the remnant soul through the soul rope. That was all. Other than that, Yu could not sense anything else from the remnant soul. This way, I can leave this space through the string of souls. The remnant soul said. Then let's go out now. As Yu spoke, he held the string of souls in one hand and Xiao Jiyu in the other and walked out of the teleportation circle. In the next instant, he was back in the ice cellar. The remnant soul sealed the 7th grade teleportation formation again. Ding. Host has used the Earth grade medium level fist technique Cloud Decimating Fist Technique. The Cloud Decimating Fist Technique has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Host has used the Earth grade high level fist technique Shadowless Lightning Flash. The Shadowless Lightning Flash has gained 999 times experience point. Ding. Congratulations, Host. The Earth grade medium level fist technique Cloud Decimating Fist Technique has successfully broken through to minor accomplishment stage. Yu broke the layer of ice above with a punch and used his movement technique to bring Xiao Jiyu out of the ground. I just need to bring you out of that space, right? At this moment, Yu asked the remnant soul in the string of souls, then should I let you out now? Not yet. However, the remnant soul's voice sounded from the string of souls. Yu raised his eyebrows slightly and asked, what else do you want? Nothing much. I just feel that it's more convenient to follow you, the remnant soul said. Furthermore, in order to help your friend just now, I don't have much energy left. I have to sleep in the string of souls for a while. When I wake up next time, you will know more. The remnant soul's voice became weaker and weaker. It was probably unable to hold on any longer. Wait, what's your name? Yu asked. Name? It's been too long. I can't remember it now. I'll tell you when I wake up next time. After this voice sounded, the remnant soul did not respond anymore. It had probably fallen into a deep sleep. Yu did not care too much about it. It was better for him to be in a deep sleep. At least he would know his place. I don't think that thing is a bad person. Meanwhile, Xiao Jiyu spoke abruptly. I hope so, Jiyu murmured. Then, he said, let's go back to the fringe. Hearing this, Xiao Jiyu immediately spread its bone wings. He took Jiyu away from the land of extreme frost and headed to the fringe. Jiyu could clearly feel that Xiao Gu's flying speed was much faster than before. After all, Xiao Gu's demonic power had already broken through to the 6th stage, so it was very normal for her flying speed to increase. After arriving at the fringe, Jiyu returned to the center of the city. Ding. The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunderflash is 1 by 999 times. Ding. The host has taken a step forward. The experience gained from the superior Earth-ranked Shadowless Thunderflash is 1 by 999 times. When Jiyu passed by a certain building, he suddenly felt a familiar aura. He couldn't help but feel puzzled and curious. When he turned around, he realized that he was passing by a slave market. Ding. The host has used soul perception. The experience gained from soul power is 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately used his soul power to sense which familiar person was in the slave market. Then, He realized that the familiar aura he felt just now was Muzan's aura. Why is she here? Ji-yu couldn't help but wonder in his heart. Muzan, the previous Azure Water Branch Hall Master, was extremely close to the Spirit Profound Realm. Although she was defeated by Xiao Ji-yu with one punch, she still left a deep impression on him. It could be said that Muzan was the most powerful and mysterious Tongxian realm martial cultivator he had ever met. In his opinion, although Muzan's cultivation was only at the peak of the 9th level of the Tongxian realm, it was not difficult for her to defeat martial cultivators who had just broken through to the Spirit Profound realm. Ji-yu really didn't expect that Muzan would actually be in the fringe, and even in a slave market. Immediately after, he felt a murderous intent from Muzan. This was interesting. Ji-yu narrowed his eyes and walked into the slave market in front of him. He really wanted to see what was going on inside. After Ji-yu walked into the slave market, he realized that there were people running out in a hurry. It seemed that Muzan was causing trouble inside. Very quickly, Ji-yu found Muzan's location. It was obvious that this was a slave market, but it was in a mess now. There was not a single thing in the market that was undamaged. Seeing a large group of people in the market, the first person Ji-yu saw was Muzan. Behind Muzan, there were many women in ragged clothes wearing handcuffs. There were women in their early teens and women in their 20s. Obviously, these women were slaves being sold here. Opposite Muzan, there was a group of people who looked like they were from the slave market. Other than a man who was at the early stage of the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm, the rest were mostly at the Tongxian realm and above. On the other hand, Muzan's group was weak. Those slave women didn't have much fighting ability, so it was useless no matter how many of them there were. Hurry up and capture that woman. At this time, a fat man who looked like a rich man pointed at Muzan and said angrily. Chapter 501. However, at this moment, Muzan happened to sense Ji-yu, who had appeared out of nowhere. Ji-yu, why are you here? Muzan subconsciously asked. I'm more interested in why you're here. As she spoke, Ji-yu pointed at the people who were aggressively charging towards Muzan. But you better pay attention to your own situation first. Muzan immediately regained her senses. Indeed, she shouldn't be distracted at this moment. She had always been able to sense the location of those people, and the people who were charging towards her were much weaker than her. Muzan casually waved her hand and beat those people to the ground. A bunch of trash. The man whose cultivation was at the early stage of the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm could no longer bear to watch. Let me personally deal with you. Hearing this voice, Muzan's expression gradually turned serious. The battle between the two was about to start. Although Muzan was powerful, she was still at a slight disadvantage when facing an opponent whose cultivation was higher than hers. At this moment, Ji-yu realized that she had overestimated Muzan. The gap between the peak stage of the 9th level of the Spirit Profound Realm and the early stage of the 1st level of the Spirit Profound Realm wasn't that easy to make up for. Do you need my help? At this moment, Ji-yu casually asked. Muzan was from the same Azure Water Branch Hall as her, and she had helped her greatly before. This time, she could consider it as returning the favor. Not at the moment. Muzan replied to Ji-yu while exchanging blows with the Spirit Profound Realm man. Her reply was more conservative. She wanted to deal with the person in front of her alone. But if an accident happened, she still had to ask for Ji-yu's help. Especially since the little girl who had defeated her in the Azure Water Branch Hall was also by Ji-yu's side. Hearing the short exchange between the two, the Spirit Profound Realm man couldn't help but frown. He deliberately probed the black-clothed youth, only to discover that he was only at the 1st or 2nd level of the Spirit Profound Realm. But from the black-clothed youth's eyes, he inexplicably felt a trace of contempt. That gaze, that tone. It was as if the other party didn't take him seriously. Not to mention the blind lady before him. Even though her cultivation was only at Tongxian realm perfection, she was exceptionally powerful. He didn't dare to let his guard down and quickly turned his attention back to Muzan. The man held a large sword in his hand. His speed was slightly slower, but his powerful strength made up for this disadvantage. Mu Zun had to be very careful when dealing with her opponent's sword. Once one was struck by the sword, it was possible for one to be severely injured. Fortunately, Mu Zun's soul perception was very strong. She could basically sense the other party's movements in advance and had enough time to react and dodge. Mu Zun's weapon was a thin sword, so she definitely wouldn't be able to clash head-on with the opponent's large sword. She took advantage of the gap between dodging the opponent's attack and found the right time to stab with her sword. He really knows how to dodge. The Spirit Profound Realm man was stabbed in many places by Mu Zun, and was gradually enraged by Mu Zun. Not only did he not stop attacking, but he also increased the frequency of his attacks, trying his best to reduce the opportunity for his opponent to seize the opportunity. There was still a huge gap between the early stage of the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm and the complete stage of the 9th level of the Tongxian Realm. Mu Zun was only able to surpass the Spirit Profound Realm man in terms of soul power. She was suppressed by him in all other aspects. Under her opponent's attacks, Mu Zun gradually became tired, and beads of sweat gradually appeared on her forehead. When the man noticed this, he attacked more and more fiercely, trying to force Mu Zun into a disadvantageous position. Hit him. The man forcefully endured the opponent's defensive stab from time to time, and slashed his large sword at her with all his might. Mu Zun slightly opened her mouth. She didn't expect that the opponent could still slash out as if nothing had happened after suffering so many injuries. But it was already too late for her to dodge, so she could only use her thin sword to block in front of her. The man's fierce slash sent Mu Zun and her sword flying. Mu Zun only managed to slow down after smashing a hole in the wall behind her. Not only that, the fierce force in the opponent's slash had also caused some internal injuries to her. Mu Zun's face was slightly pale, and she couldn't help but cough a few times. Her body wasn't very good to begin with, and this was one of her biggest flaws. Well done. When the chubby middle-aged man saw this scene, he was immediately overjoyed. Immediately after, the chubby man's face changed into an obscene and evil expression. Capture that woman for me. I will let her know that she can only be a slave for the rest of her life. Oh, seems like you have something. Hearing the chubby man's words, Jiyu smiled faintly. He then asked Mu Zun, do you need me to make a move now? Yes. Please make your move. Mu Zun nodded weakly. Is this woman crazy? The Spirit Profound Realm man couldn't help but mock, letting a brat with a lower cultivation than you deal with me? Don't you have a capable helper? Mu Zun shook her head slightly and remained silent. She had already vaguely sensed that this young man named Ji Yu was many times stronger than the last time they met. Chapter 502. Hearing Mu Zun's request, Ji Yu did not waste any more words. Ding. Host has used Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash. Shadowless Thunderflash has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Congratulations host, Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash has successfully broken through to the Great Accomplishment Realm. Ding. Detected that Shadowless Thunderflash has reached the Great Accomplishment Realm, automatically upgraded to Heaven Rank Lower Grade Shadowless Thunderflash, 3000 Clouds Movement. In an instant, Jiyu arrived in front of the Spirit Profound Realm man. Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash had unexpectedly broken through and upgraded to Heaven Rank Lower Grade Shadowless Thunderflash, 3000 Clouds Movement. This was the first time Jiyu had obtained a Heaven Rank Lower Grade Shadowless Thunderflash. However, he did not have the time to think about this right now. He had to eliminate this guy in front of him first. A Cyan Vein sword immediately appeared in his hand, and he instantly used Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunder Flash and 80% Sword Intent at the same time. Ding. Host has used Dazzling Sun in the Sky Third form. Dazzling Sun in the Sky Third form has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has activated 80% Sword Intent. 80% Sword Intent has gained 999 times experience. Jiyu's speed, and the fact that she was using an Earth Rank Upper Grade Shadowless Thunderflash, was not something that a first-level Spirit Profound Realm man could predict. That person did not even see Jiyu's movements. When he realized that Jiyu was gone, a golden sword ray was already in front of his eyes. That sword ray, which was smaller than a marble, exploded the moment it touched that person. It exploded with extreme heat and power, annihilating that person until not even ashes remained. This was the instantaneous form of the Earth-rank upper-grade Shadowless Thunderflash, third form. Everyone in the surroundings was unable to open their eyes because of Ji-Yu's sword ray. Only the blind Mu-Zun's eyes were not affected. When those people opened their eyes, they discovered that the Spirit Profound Realm man was already gone. Where is he? Everyone looked around, but did not see that lord. The fat middle-aged man couldn't help but ask, "What's going on?" As for Mu-Zun, although she couldn't see with her eyes, she could sense through her soul power that the life aura of the guy who was slightly stronger than her had already disappeared. Clearly, he had been killed by Ji-Yu in an instant. Mu-Zun couldn't help but take a deep breath. How long had it been since they last met? Ji-Yu had gone from being on par with her to far surpassing her. She couldn't help but marvel at such talent and strength. There's no need to look for him. I've already killed that guy. At this time, Ji-Yu said to Fatty Middle-Aged and the others in a flat tone. What? The fat middle-aged man's eyes widened in disbelief. He simply could not believe that an expert at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm would be killed by a youth, and in the blink of an eye. The others also had the same expression as the fat middle-aged man. Because Ji-Yu's earlier attack was an instantaneous sword technique, her target was only that man at the Spirit Profound Realm. Therefore, the fat middle-aged man's side, as well as Mu-Zun and the slave girls behind Mu-Zun, were not affected by Ji-Yu's attack just now. At this time, Ji-Yu turned around and said to Mu-Zun, "Do you still need me to deal with the remaining guys?" Hearing Ji-Yu's voice, those people's hearts all jumped. Even that lord at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm was instantly killed. Wouldn't it be even more impossible for them to survive? No need, I want to deal with it myself. Mu-Zun shook her head and walked forward. Hearing this, Ji-Yu put the cyan vein sword back into the storage ring. If he guessed correctly, Mu-Zun should have a grudge with the people in the slave market. And from what the fat man said earlier, Mu-Zun seemed to have been a slave here. Then, Mu-Zun's blindness when she was young was very likely to be related to this matter. Therefore, Ji-Yu asked Mu-Zun if she wanted her to deal with those people herself. At this time, Mu-Zun walked in front of the fat man and said coldly, "I'm only looking for this person. Everyone else, scram." Those people who were originally standing stiffly in place immediately ran away when they heard this voice. "You. All of you. Come back here." Seeing that his subordinates all ran away without saying a word, the fat man hurriedly shouted. However, those people didn't even turn their heads and didn't even stop in their tracks. At this kind of life and death situation, how could they care so much? If they could live, they definitely didn't want to die. In just a short while, those people had all run away without a trace. The fat man was instantly enraged and desperate. Now that he was alone, he was no match for this woman in front of him. After more than 10 years, I've finally waited for this day. Mu-Zun raised her thin sword, her tone extremely cold. Don't kill me." The fat man directly knelt on the ground in fear and stammered with a trembling voice, Back then, I at least let you go. Let me go." Mu-Zun's tone became even colder. "When you were abusing me, you accidentally blinded me. After you felt that I was useless, you threw me away. Is this what you mean by letting me go?" The fat man was instantly speechless. While he was still thinking about how to beg for mercy, he saw that the other party had already stabbed her sword. Mu-Zun's sword pierced through the fat man's heart. Following the fat man's complete death, Mu-Zun's thin sword slowly fell from her hand. After so many years, everything was finally over. Chapter 503. Were you really from here? Ji-Yu walked over and asked. But halfway through, he wasn't sure if he should say the word slave. That's right. Mu-Zun nodded frankly. I became a slave here when I was young. My eyes were also given to me by this person. As expected, Ji-Yu sighed. That's indeed a little tragic. Mu-Zun seemed to have misunderstood Ji-Yu's words. She said, "Don't misunderstand. My chastity has always been with me." Ji was stunned. He pointed at himself and said awkwardly, "I don't think I've ever said anything about chastity, right?" He almost didn't react in time. He was shocked by Muzan's words. "Is that so?" Muzan turned around and said, "Then pretend I didn't say anything." She looked calm on the surface, but she was feeling a little embarrassed. In the eyes of ordinary people, female slaves were usually, when Ji said the word tragic, she subconsciously misunderstood Ji. Also, she didn't know why she deliberately explained this. Ji coughed lightly and didn't think too much about it. He changed the topic. "Then what are you going to do with those women?" He was naturally referring to the slave women hiding behind Muzan. "I'll arrange for them to go somewhere," Muzan said. "That's good." Ji said, "Speaking of which, do you have anything else to do in the land of chaos?" "Nope." Muzan shook her head. "After arranging their places, I'm going back to the Kanglan branch." "Then let's go back together," Ji said. He didn't plan to stay in the land of chaos any longer. He might as well go back to the Kanglan Empire with Muzan. "Okay." Muzan nodded. Next, Ji and Muzan had to deal with those slave women. At this moment, those slave girls were all trembling as they looked at Muzan and Ji. Although the young man, woman, and little girl in front of them seemed to have saved them, they were still unsure whether the three of them were good or bad people. After all, they had been enslaved for so long that it was difficult for them to trust anyone. Furthermore, the young man and woman in front of him were both very powerful. Even the spirit profound realm lord was killed. Muzan sensed the fear in these slave girls' hearts and said gently, "Don't worry, we won't do anything to you. Furthermore, we'll help you arrange a place to go. If we really wanted to do something, would you still be standing there and watching us?" Ji said straightforwardly. To the slave girls, Muzan's words only made them feel a little more at ease. Ji's words were very effective. Because Ji's words were very simple and straightforward. With Ji's strength, if she really wanted to harm them, they wouldn't be able to resist at all. After that, Muzan spent half a day arranging places for those slave girls. She gave them a little money, and those who were supposed to go home went home. Those who were supposed to be self-reliant went to be self-reliant. As for the subsequent matters, she couldn't care less. After all, she couldn't bring these slave girls with her at all times. As for Ji, he didn't interfere with Muzan's matters and let Muzan make her own arrangements. He casually found a tea house to sit down and cultivate Split the Sky while waiting for Muzan to come over after she was done with her matters. Ding. Host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. Experience gained for the third level of Split the Sky, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has read the third volume of Split the Sky for 1 minute. Experience gained for the third level of Split the Sky, 1 by 999 times. In just half a day, Ji's cultivation realm and physique hadn't broken through yet, but Muzan had already finished with her matters and returned. Everything has been arranged. Muzan used her soul perception to find Ji's seat. She walked over to Ji's side and sat down as she spoke. For a moment, the gazes of the surrounding people converged on them. After all, although Muzan's eyes were covered, her exquisite and beautiful facial features couldn't be hidden. Moreover, that impressive figure was faintly discernible under the black robe. The central area of Chaos City was the most turbulent place in the entire Chaos City. Those who could stay in such a place were all ruthless people. When the surrounding people saw the black-robed woman, they immediately started to pay attention to her. In their eyes, this black-robed woman couldn't even see her eyes, so she definitely wasn't that strong. As for the black-clothed youth and the little girl in the white dress, they were completely ignored. It seems like there are quite a few idiots who have their eyes on you. At this moment, Ji looked at Muzan and smiled faintly. Chapter 504. Naturally, Muzan had also sensed the unbridled gazes of the surrounding people through her soul power, which made her feel slightly displeased. When Ji's voice rang out, the surrounding people's expressions darkened. That brat is quite gutsy, daring to call us idiots. Let's attack together. Let's kill that brat first, then we'll snatch the two girls next to him. At this moment, they couldn't wait to make their move. Hearing that those people wanted to kill her, Ji-yu immediately narrowed her eyes. However, after 3 seconds, ding. Host has used Gold Blade, Gold level spiritual energy experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has used Gold Blade, Gold level spiritual energy experience gained, 1 by 999 times. As the small golden sword pierced through their bodies, their minds instantly collapsed. Let's go. At this moment, Ji-yu calmly put down the teacup in her hand and held Xiaogu's hand as they walked out of the tea house. Mu Zun, on the other hand, was stunned for a while before following them. Ding. Host has taken a step, Heaven rank inferior martial technique 3000 clouds movement experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step, Heaven rank inferior martial technique 3000 clouds movement experience gained, 1 by 999 times. After that, Ji-yu and the other two took a carriage and left the Bedlam lands, following the original route back to the Kanglan Empire. In the Bedlam lands, even the coachman was a first-tier Tongxian realm martial cultivator. After all, without sufficient strength, there was no way to survive in the Bedlam lands. Even though the cost of the carriage was slightly more expensive, Ji-yu didn't care. Moreover, riding such a carriage was equivalent to hiring a Tongxian realm fighter. If they encountered demonic beasts with low demonic power, it would save him the trouble of personally dealing with them. Young master wants to go to the Kanglan Empire? The coachman couldn't help but exclaim in surprise, "Young master, you're going on a long journey with your wife and child." After all, the Bedlam lands was so far away from the Kanglan Empire. As for the woman beside him, she also made him gasp in amazement. He had traveled all over the place in his life and had seen countless beauties, but almost none of them could compare to this woman. Hearing the coachman's words, Ji-yu couldn't help but feel a little awkward. It was clear that the other party treated Mu Zun as his wife and Xiao Ji-yu as his daughter. "You misunderstood." Ji-yu smiled and explained, "This is my younger sister, and that is my friend." "Oh, I see." The coachman nodded and didn't think too much about it. Mu Zun, on the other hand, didn't react at all. She followed Ji-yu into the carriage. No one knew what she was thinking. On the way, Ji-yu began to cultivate. Ding. The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1*999 ek. Ding. The host has read the 3rd volume of the Sky Splitter for 1 minute. The experience gained for the 3rd level of the Sky Splitter is 1*999 ek. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through the 3rd level of the King rank Sky Splitter to the Mastery realm. After about 4 to 5 days, Ji-yu's Sky Splitter finally broke through again. Her physique reached the 5th grade of the mystic body. After so many days, the carriage had already left the Bedlam lands. At this time, the coachman had to stop to let the horses rest for a while. It was impossible to let the horses run continuously on such a long journey. Ji-yu just happened to get off the carriage and walk around. He looked around. He seemed to be in the shattering army empire's king city. He estimated that he would be able to return to the Kanglan Empire in a few days. After more than 10 minutes, they continued on their way. This time, Ji-yu switched to cultivating the Amethyst Pupil. Ding. The host has read the Amethyst Pupil Cultivation Manual for 1 minute. The experience gained for the Amethyst Pupil is 1*999 ek. Ding. The host has read the Amethyst Pupil Cultivation Manual for 1 minute. The experience gained for the Amethyst Pupil is 1*999 ek. After an unknown amount of time, Ji-yu's Amethyst Pupil also had a breakthrough. The Amethyst Pupil had reached the 3rd stage. There was only the 4th stage left before the Amethyst Pupil could be considered complete. After that, Ji-yu cultivated her mystic chi to increase her cultivation. Ding. The host has cultivated her mystic chi for 1 minute. The experience gained for the martial cultivation is 600*999 ek. Ding. The host has cultivated her mystic chi for 1 minute. The experience gained for the martial cultivation is 600*999x. Ding. Congratulations, the martial cultivation has successfully broken through to the early third level of the Spirit Profound realm. Before the carriage arrived at the Kanglan Empire's border, Jiyu's cultivation had successfully broken through to the third level of the Spirit Profound realm. When the carriage arrived at the Kanglan Empire's border, Jiyu and the other two got off the carriage. The Kanglan Empire's terrain was rather special. They had to take the spirit ship to enter. After taking the spirit ship into the border, Jiyu temporarily parted ways with Mu Zun. Because he wanted to go to the imperial city's Chenyuan martial house first, he did not want to return to the Azure Water Branch Hall with Mu Zun. He would return to the Azure Water Branch Hall later. It would save him the trouble of running back and forth. And if Jiyu remembered correctly, it should be Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony in a few days. He had previously agreed with Nangong Morching that if he could return to the Kanglan Empire in time, he would attend Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony. He did not want to go back on his word. After returning to the imperial city's Chenyuan martial house, Jiyu would go to Bright Moon Ancient City to attend Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony. Chapter 505. Ding. Host has used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Jiyu immediately used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement and brought Xiao Jiyu to the royal city. The main reason was to test out the speed of the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. Secondly, it was also convenient for him to travel. At this moment, Jiyu seemed to be riding on the clouds. This speed was even faster than the Earth Rank Superior skill Shadowless Lightning Flash from before. As expected of a Heaven Rank Superior skill, Jiyu thought to himself. This speed made him very satisfied. Ding. Host has used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. After that, Jiyu continuously used the Heaven Rank Inferior skill 3000 Clouds Movement and quickly arrived at the royal city. However, after using the 3000 Clouds Movement a few times, the profound qi in his body was almost depleted. After all, this was a Heaven Rank Inferior skill. It consumed a lot of the user's profound qi. With Jiyu's current cultivation, it was already very good for him to be able to use the 3000 Clouds Movement a few times. If it was an ordinary Spirit Profound Realm martial artist who used the Heaven Rank Profound skill, for example, those at the first level of the Spirit Profound Realm, they might not even be able to use it once. At this moment, Jiyu had already arrived at the Chenyuan martial house. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power has gained experience, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has consumed a 4th level profound qi recovery pill. The profound qi recovery effect has increased by 999 times. He took out a 4th level profound qi recovery pill from the storage ring. Under the support of the 999 times profound qi recovery effect, he instantly recovered all the profound qi in his body. At this moment, because Jiyu was only dressed in black and did not cover his face, he was quickly noticed by the surrounding martial house students. Look, isn't that genius Jiyu? It's true. She's exactly the same as in the portrait. She's really the genius Jiyu. F***ck, this is my idol. I didn't expect to have the chance to meet him. Since Jiyu's legendary deeds in the Kanglan Empire kept increasing, almost everyone in the Chenyuan martial house worshipped Jiyu. This included the female students as well. Many of them went crazy when they saw Jiyu. Get out of the way, I want to have children with Senior Ji. You wish. Senior Ji belongs to Senior Sister Yuchu and Senior Sister Yushin. No matter what, it won't be your turn. It's not just Senior Sister Yuchu and Senior Sister Yushin. I heard that senior sister Ling has a very close relationship with senior brother Ji as well. However, when everyone wanted to get closer, they saw that Ji had already left, leaving only an afterimage. Ding. Host has used the lower heaven class movement technique 3000 clouds movement. 3000 clouds movement has obtained 999 times proficiency experience. At this moment, Ji held Xiaogu's hand and directly appeared in front of the Violet Gold Palace. Although those Marshall House students looked like his fans, he didn't have the time nor the leisure to do so. Housemaster Murong, I'm back. After entering the Violet Gold Palace, Ji directly greeted him. Murong Li was in the Violet Gold Palace as usual. You've been gone for about a month this time, right? Hearing Ji's voice, Murong Li immediately turned around. Ian, it's about time. Ji said, speaking of which, Housemaster, how's your violet glazed pupil cultivation going? Right now, I've only cultivated to the see-through reality realm. However, it's only a matter of time before I reach the violet glazed divine transformation realm. Murong Li said. Ian, that's good. Ji looked around and didn't see Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yuexin's figures. He immediately asked, where are Yuchu and Yushin? They went out to train. Murong Li said. Train? Ji's gaze slightly trembled. Just as he felt a bit worried, Murong Li already said, they insisted on going out to train, so I let them go. However, you don't have to worry. Before they left, I gave them 2 treasures. One is to let me immediately sense if they're in danger after crushing it. The other is a defensive formation that can block the attacks of Tongxian realm experts. Moreover, their current strength is very close to Tongxian realm. Otherwise, I wouldn't let them go out to train. Saying this, Murong Li took out a jade pendant and gave it to Ji. Take this jade pendant. If they're in danger, crush the other jade pendant. You'll be able to sense their specific location through this jade pendant. Chapter 506. En. Ji took the jade pendant and asked, speaking of which, where did Yuchu and Yushin go to train? They should still be in the Demon Beast mountain range. Murong Li said. I know. Ji said, what about Ling? Ling is cultivating in seclusion. Are you going to find her? Murong Li said. Cultivating in seclusion. Then forget it. I'll leave first. After speaking, Ji turned and left. He had already planned to go to Bright Moon Ancient City. Bright Moon Ancient City was relatively close to the Demon Beast mountain range. If something happened to Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin, he would be able to arrive in time. Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven rank movement 3000 clouds movement gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven rank movement 3000 clouds movement gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After walking out of Chenyuan Marshall House, Ji let Xiao Ji take him to Bright Moon Ancient City. Halfway through, they arrived above the Demon Beast mountain range. Ding. Host has used Soul Perception. Soul Force gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has used Soul Perception. Soul Force gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Soon, Ji sensed Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yuexin's aura at the border between the outer and inner regions. They seemed to be dealing with a second-stage demon beast. However, Ji didn't plan to disturb them. Because this was their training, Ji respected their choice. As long as they weren't in any danger, Ji wouldn't interfere. Then, Ji and Xiao Ji arrived at Bright Moon Ancient City. They landed in a sparsely populated place in Bright Moon Ancient City and Ji walked to the Nangong family. Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven rank movement 3000 clouds movement gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step forward. Experience gained from the heaven rank inferior martial art 3000 clouds movement. 1 by 999 times. A few minutes later, Ji arrived at the Nangong residence. The guards at the entrance of the Nangong residence were just about to stop the young man in black and the little girl in white who had appeared out of nowhere. In the next moment, he saw the appearance of the black-clothed youth clearly. Isn't this Jiyu? The guard was stunned on the spot. When he reacted, he hurriedly made way for the other party. In the entire Kanglan Empire, Jiyu was even more famous than the current queen, Zhuang Weiran. She was also the queen's favorite. There was also a guard among them. When he realized that the person who came was Jiyu, he immediately ran in to inform the patriarch. Jiyu naturally noticed the appearance of those guards, but he didn't care at all. He pretended that he didn't see anything and walked into the Nangong estate. Not long after entering the Nangong estate, Jiyu coincidentally bumped into the patriarch of the Nangong family, Nangong Yu, who was running out in a hurry. Jiyu, you're here. Nangong Yu seemed to have just heard the news from the guards that Jiyu was here, so he rushed out in a hurry. Patriarch of the Nangong family, you don't have to be so anxious. Jiyu said politely. Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony should be starting soon, right? Jiyu went straight to the point. That's right. Morching's coming-of-age ceremony is in 3 days. Nangong Yu instantly understood that Jiyu was here to attend his daughter's coming-of-age ceremony. He immediately felt happy. If that was the case, Jiyu still had Morching in his heart. There was still hope. Patriarch, help me arrange a place to stay. I'll attend Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony on that day. Jiyu said. All right. Nangong Yu nodded and immediately ordered his subordinates to arrange a place to stay. At this moment, Jiyu was in the place that Nangong Yu had arranged for him. He planned to break through the 4th stage of the purple-glazed pupil's purple-glazed god transformation in one go, which was also the last stage. That way, the purple-glazed pupil would be considered complete. As for Xiao Jiyu, Jiyu had already given her some candy, so she would at least be obedient for a day. Ding. Host has taken a look at the purple-glazed pupil cultivation manual. Experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a look at the purple-glazed pupil cultivation manual. Experience gained, 1 by 999 times. However, less than half a day after Jiyu started cultivating the purple-glazed pupil, there was a light knock on the door. Ding. Host has used soul perception, soul strength experience gained, 1 by 999 times. Jiyu immediately used his spiritual perception and found that it was Nangong Morching standing outside the door. Come in. At this moment, Jiyu stopped cultivating and said, come in. Then, Nangong Morching, who was standing outside the door, pushed open the door and walked in. Jiyu looked at the sky outside the window and found that it was already dark. Then, she asked Nangong Morching, it's already so late, why are you here? I'm here to bring you dinner. At this moment, Nangong Morching took out an exquisite box. Nangong Morching directly walked in and sat beside Jiyu, which was the bedside. Dinner. Thank you. Jiyu said. Nangong Morching placed the box on her lap and slowly opened it. This is the dinner I made myself. Come, have a taste. As she spoke, she picked up a piece of meat and put it in front of Jiyu's mouth. Seeing this, Jiyu was slightly stunned. Was she trying to feed him? Chapter 507. I'll eat it myself. Jiyu declined politely with a smile. He was a man. Why did he need someone to feed him? He was not a child anymore. Why don't you try it first? Nangong Morching was still unwilling to give up. This was a rare opportunity for her. All right, Jiyu compromised in the end. After taking a bite, she realized that the dinner was indeed quite delicious. Your culinary skills are much better than those two girls, Yu Chu and Yu Xin. Jiyu could not help but sigh. Thinking back to when he ate Jiang Yuechu's food, it left a deep impression on him. Nangong Morching was already happy enough when Jiyu obediently took a bite. Now that she was praised for her culinary skills, she was even more delighted. Speaking of which, you call them by their names. Can't you call me by my name too? Nangong Morching suddenly paid attention to how Jiyu addressed Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin just now. Name? Jiyu thought for a moment. Morching. Yes. Nangong Morching smiled cheerfully and picked up another piece of vegetable leaf, wanting to continue feeding Jiyu. No, I'll eat by myself next. This time, Jiyu really did not want to continue compromising. He was a man, after all, and his hands were intact. How could he let a woman feed him? Nangong Morching could not force Jiyu, so he could only give up. At least she had fed Jiyu a bite just now. She was already satisfied. When Jiyu was eating dinner, Nangong Morching was still sitting at the side and watching. Aren't you going back? Jiyu was halfway through her meal when she realized that Nangong Morching had been sitting at the side and watching her. She could not help but ask. There's no hurry. I'll bring the cutlery back after you finish eating. Nangong Morching said calmly. Hearing this, Jiyu didn't think too much about it. After dinner, Jiyu returned the box to Nangong Morching. Sorry to trouble you. Then I'll go back first. Nangong Morching immediately stood up. In fact, she wanted to continue staying here, but Jiyu seemed to be cultivating. In order not to disturb Jiyu, she could only go back. Yes. Jiyu nodded. After Nangong Morching left, he continued to cultivate the amethyst pupil. Ding. Host has read the Amethyst Pupil Cultivation Manual for 1 minute. Amethyst Pupil Experience gained, 1*999x. Ding. Host has read the Amethyst Pupil Cultivation Manual for 1 minute. Amethyst Pupil Experience gained, 1*999x. Before Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony began, Jiyu had been cultivating the amethyst pupil. During this period, Nangong Morching would come to Jiyu every mealtime with the dishes he personally cooked. As a result, Jiyu was never hungry. However, on the day of Nangong Morching's coming-of-age ceremony, Jiyu's amethyst pupil had not completely reached perfection. However, he felt that he was about to break through the 4th stage of the amethyst transformation. It would probably take another 1 or 2 days. This morning, Nangong Morching delivered breakfast as usual. However, Jiyu found that Nangong Morching looked a little strange today. What's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well? Just as Jiyu opened his mouth to ask this question. At the same time, a system notification sounded in his mind. Ding. Host has taken a look at the 1st stage of the extreme cold yin body, triggering 999 times comprehension ability. Ding. Congratulations host, you have successfully comprehended the method to solve the 1st stage of the extreme cold yin body. Jiyu found out about this through the system. In other words, Nangong Morching had the extreme cold yin body physique. From the system, he found out that the extreme cold yin body was a special type of physique with extreme yin. There were a total of 3 stages. The 1st stage would erupt when a person turned 18. In the 1st stage, the body would only feel very cold and uncomfortable. The reason why it was because the last 2 stages were even more terrifying. If the 1st stage was not solved, the 2nd stage would cause the body to be frozen from the inside out, unable to move, and could be described as a vegetable. In the 3rd stage, even the heart would be frozen, and the person would lose their life completely. Obviously, Nangong Morching had erupted the 1st stage of the extreme cold yin body today. Jiyu completely did not expect that Nangong Morching actually still had this kind of physique hidden in him. Coincidentally, Jiyu found out from the system that the method to solve the 1st stage of the extreme cold yin body was the Great Heaven Mystic Yang pill from last time. Thinking about this, Jiyu did not think about it anymore. Seeing that Nangong Morching in front of him was very uncomfortable, even swaying as she walked, he immediately put down the box in Nangong Morching's hands. There's something wrong with your body. Come with me to your father first. Jiyu carried Nangong Morching on his back and left the room as he spoke. Nangong Morching wanted to say something, but because her body was too cold, she could not open her mouth. Feeling the warmth of Jiyu's back, she could not help but hug Jiyu's neck tightly, sticking her body close to Jiyu's back. Chapter 508. Ding. Host has used the inferior heaven rank movement technique 3000 clouds movement. 3000 clouds movement technique has gained 999 times the experience. Jiyu immediately used the 3000 clouds movement technique and carried Nangong Morching towards Nangong Yu. Seeing Ji Yu suddenly barge in with Nangong marching on his back, Nangong Yu was originally happy, but he soon realized that something was wrong. What's going on? Seeing that his daughter seemed to be very uncomfortable, Nangong Yu couldn't help but worry. There's a serious problem with Morching's body. Ji Yu quickly said, let's bring her to the room first. Okay, young master, follow me. Nangong Yu realized the seriousness of the matter and immediately led the way. Ji Yu quickly caught up with him. Ding. Host has taken a step. The inferior heaven rank movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. The inferior heaven rank movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Soon, Ji Yu followed Nangong Yu to Nangong Morching's room. After placing Nangong Morching on the bed and covering her with a blanket, he comforted Nangong Morching, rest here first, you'll be fine. Young master, what happened to Morching? At this moment, Nangong Yu anxiously asked Ji Yu. There's a body constitution called the extreme cold yin physique hidden in her body, and it broke out today. Ji Yu quickly explained, then took out a pill furnace from her storage ring and said, I'll prepare a solution now, you don't have to worry. Ding. Host has activated his spiritual power to open the storage ring. Gold level spiritual power has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ji Yu took out a pill furnace and a pile of materials from her storage ring. Right now, he was only a superior grade 5 alchemist. If he wanted to refine the grade 6 Great Heaven Profound Yang pill, he would need to be at least a grade 6 alchemist. Therefore, he planned to first refine other medicinal pills to increase his alchemy attainments. Ding. It has been detected that the host has begun to refine grade 4 medicinal pills. The success rate of refining pills has increased by 999 times. Ding. Host has concocted a 4th grade medicinal pill. Alchemy attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ding. Host has concocted a 4th grade medicinal pill. Alchemy attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the inferior 6th stage pill refinement master. After half a day, Ji Yu's alchemy Dao finally broke through to become a 6th grade alchemist. During this time, Nangong Yu took good care of Nangong Morching. At this moment, Ji Yu did not stop and was preparing to refine the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Fortunately, he had made a trip to the land of chaos. That trip had been very fruitful. He had even managed to gather a set of ingredients for the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Ding. It has been detected that the host has begun to refine a grade 6 Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. The success rate of refining pills has increased by 999 times. Another half a day passed. Ding. The host has successfully refined a grade 6 Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Alchemy attainment has been increased by 999 times. Ji Yu had finally refined the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. He then took out the pill from the furnace and walked to the bedside. Is this the antidote? Looking at the pill in Ji Yu's hand, Nangong Yu could not help but ask. That's right. This is the pill that can solve the first stage of the extreme cold extreme yin body, the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill. Ji Yu said. Great Heaven Profound Yang pill? Nangong Yu was shocked. He did not expect this pill to have something to do with his daughter's body constitution. Then, who was that mysterious person back then? At this moment, Nangong Morching seemed to be in a half-awake state. Her furrowed brows indicated that she was not feeling well. Ji Yu tried to pry open Nangong Morching's lips with her hands. She immediately felt that it was terrifyingly cold. It's okay. It will be done soon. Ji Yu said softly as she stuffed the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill into Nangong Morching's mouth. The moment Nangong Morching swallowed the Great Heaven Profound Yang pill, a burst of extreme Yang Qi erupted from her body. Soon, Nangong Morching's body warmed up. Her furrowed brows also gradually relaxed. Is it done? Nangong Yu asked anxiously. Yes, it's done. Ji Yu nodded and then looked out of the window. It's quite late now. Let her rest here. Okay. Thank you very much for saving us, young master, Nangong Yu said gratefully. If Ji Yu was not here this time, he really did not know what to do. By the way, your coming-of-age ceremony this time, Ji Yu suddenly thought. Chapter 509. It's already so late. Let's not hold it as long as marching is fine. Nangong Yu looked at Nangong marching and said, and we can hold it again next year. That's true. Ji Yu said, then my sister and I will go back now. We'll come back when we have the chance. Take care, young master. Nangong Yu sent him off. Ding. Host has taken a step. Inferior heaven-level martial arts, 3000 clouds movement, gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Inferior heaven-level martial arts, 3000 clouds movement, gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Just as Ji Yu turned around and took a few steps, he suddenly felt Nangong Morching's cultivation aura skyrocketing. LV6 Defensive Profound Realm, LV7 Defensive Profound Realm, LV8 Defensive Profound Realm, LV9 Defensive Profound Realm. However, Nangong Morching's cultivation had broken through to LV9 Defensive Profound Realm and showed no signs of stopping. In a flash, he broke through the shackles of Defensive Profound Realm and reached Tongxian Realm. LV1 Tongxian Realm, LV2 Tongxian Realm, LV3 Tongxian Realm. It was only when he broke through to LV3 Tongxian Realm that the speed of growth slowed down. Even so, he was still breaking through. Mid LV3 Tongxian Realm, late LV3 Tongxian Realm, peak LV3 Tongxian Realm, peak LV3 Tongxian Realm, LV4 Tongxian Realm. In the end, Nangong Morching's cultivation stopped at early LV4 Tongxian Realm. Ding. Host has sensed another person's cultivation aura breakthrough. Martial arts cultivation gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has sensed another person's cultivation aura breakthrough. Martial arts cultivation gained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Ji Yu felt Nangong Morching's cultivation aura breakthrough and gained a lot of cultivation realms. At the same time, Nangong Morching woke up. Her face was filled with disbelief as she muttered, What's going on? Nangong Yu was also shocked. How did his daughter's cultivation suddenly surpass his? This is the benefit of solving the first stage of the extreme cold yin body. Ji Yu explained, although this physique is fatal, once it erupts and is resolved, you will obtain a large amount of cultivation and a martial talent that far surpasses ordinary people. Extreme cold absolute yin physique. Nangong Morching understood that the extreme cold yin body was the main culprit that caused him to become what he was today. However, he did not expect that it would actually allow him to obtain a large amount of cultivation and martial arts talent that far exceeded that of ordinary people. Hearing Ji Yu's words, Nangong Yu gradually recovered from his shock. Then, young master, what do you mean by the first stage? Nangong Yu was a little concerned about the first stage of the extreme cold yin body that Ji Yu mentioned. He then asked, is there a second stage? That's right. Ji Yu nodded. Not only is there a second stage, but there's also a third stage. This. Nangong Yu was horrified. The first stage of the extreme cold yin body was already so terrifying. How could there be a second and third stage? Moreover, the 6th grade Great Heaven Mystic Yang pill could only solve the first stage of the extreme cold yin body. Then, what kind of pills would be needed to solve the second and third stage of the extreme cold yin body? A 7th grade pill? An 8th grade pill? Or even a 9th grade pill? Nangong Yu did not dare to continue thinking about it. However, the second stage of the extreme cold yin body will only erupt in half a year. Ji Yu said at this moment. As for the solution, it would require a 7th grade pill. As for the third stage of the extreme cold yin body, it would require a 9th grade pill as the antidote. Half a year. Nangong Yu was frightened. Only half a year. What should he do? It seemed that he could only pin his hopes on Ji Gongzi. Nangong Yu seemed to have made up his mind. He knelt down in front of Ji Yu. Young master, please save Morching. Patriarch Nangong, you don't have to do this. I will save him if I can. Ji Yu helped Nangong Yu up and said awkwardly. With your words, I'm relieved. Nangong Yu said gratefully. Nangong Morching did not seem to care about his body constitution. He suddenly asked Ji Yu, "Are you leaving now?" "Yes." Ji Yu nodded slightly. "It is about time for me to go back. I will come back again if I have the chance." Nangong Morching was reluctant to part with her, but he did not show it. "Thank you." Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has taken a step. Low-grade heaven movement technique 3000 clouds movement has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. After leaving the Nangong estate, Ji Yu asked Xiao Ji Yu to bring him to the Kanglan branch hall. On the way, he used his soul power to check if Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin were still in the Demon Beast mountain range. Ding. Host has used soul perception. Soul power has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Ding. Host has used soul perception. Soul power has gained experience. 1 by 999 times. Through her soul perception, Ji Yu discovered that Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin were still wandering between the outer and inner regions of the Demon Beast mountain range. However, right at this moment, the soul rope on his body suddenly moved. Chapter 510. The soul rope started to shake violently. Sensing the soul rope's movements, Ji Yu released the soul rope from her sea of consciousness. A huge remnant soul floated in the air. "What's the matter, senior?" The remnant soul narrowed its eyes and looked at the Demon Beast mountain range. Suddenly, it laughed out loud. "You are indeed fated with my clan." Ji Yu still didn't understand what senior was talking about. The remnant soul continued. "I have recovered some of my strength. It must be because of this Demon Beast mountain range." Ji Yu patted Xiao Gu's head. "Xiao Ji Yu, let's go down and take a look." Xiao Ji Yu didn't say anything. In an instant, they landed beside a lake in the Demon Beast mountain range. Coincidentally, Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin were in the middle of the lake with their palms facing each other. Looking around, the surrounding moon essence was continuously entering their bodies. Ji Yu took a step forward. Ding. Host has taken a step forward. Low-grade heaven tier movement technique 3000 clouds movement obtained experience points, 1 by 999 times. Sensing Ji Yu's aura, the two sisters suddenly opened their eyes. They slowly put away the cultivation technique. "Ji Yu, why are you here?" Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin said almost at the same time. They were very surprised. They didn't expect Ji Yu to suddenly appear here. "I heard from the mansion master that you were training here, so I came to see you." Ji Yu smiled and said, "Speaking of which, how is your training now?" The two sisters' expressions became serious. Their bodies were like lightning, flashing quickly in this forest. If it was an ordinary person, they would only be able to see their after images. However, in Ji Yu's eyes, the two sisters' movement techniques were still ordinary. "Although they are a little weaker than me, they are still very powerful." Ji Yu gently patted the two sisters' heads. Suddenly, a long whistle came from the depths of the forest. Jiang Yushin and Jiang Yuchu immediately took out their magic tools with vigilance on their faces. A figure flew out from the forest, and the trees on both sides collapsed. A demonic beast with an eagle head and a leopard body appeared in front of everyone. Looking at the four people before it, the demonic beast licked its lips, as if it had seen some kind of delicious meal. Cold sweat appeared on the foreheads of the two sisters. Judging from the bony wings on the back of the demonic beast, this demonic beast had already reached the 3rd grade. From the probing sense, the two sisters felt that they could only fight against this demonic beast if they went all out. A rank 3 demonic beast. Why is there such a demonic beast here? Watch how I teach you a lesson. As soon as he finished speaking, a clap of thunder resounded in the air. He saw Ji Yu take a step forward and throw out a heavy punch. He didn't know how many punches he had thrown. The 3rd rank demonic beast didn't even have the chance to cry out before it was torn to pieces. Ji Yu took out the demonic core from the 3rd rank demonic beast's body and threw it into their hands. "Take this demonic core." You can get a lot of benefits from it. When the Jiang sisters saw that Ji Yu's punch just now had killed the monstrous beast that they felt was incomparably dangerous, they were incomparably shocked. Ji Yu had already shown his extraordinary talent for cultivation. Even so, killing a third-rank demonic beast with just one punch still shocked the two sisters. It was really too amazing. The two sisters felt as if their hearts were being thrown into turmoil. I'm going back to the royal city. You two can go back with me, Ji Yu said. Okay. Okay. Jiang Yuchu and Jiang Yushin nodded in unison. The next day, Ji Yu and the two sisters returned to the royal city and arrived at the Chenyuan martial mansion. At this time, Ji Yu had already left the Chenyuan martial mansion and was heading to the Alchemist Guild. He wouldn't forget the promise he made with Yu Shuyun. Ding. Host has used the low-grade heaven-level movement technique 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Ding. Host has used the low-grade heaven-level movement technique 3000 Clouds Movement. 3000 Clouds Movement has gained 999 times experience. Soon, Ji Yu brought Xiao Jiyu to the Alchemist Guild. However, he found that there was a crowd in front of him. It was noisy as if something had happened. In the middle of the crowd, there was a sedan chair pulled by 6 or 7 giant beasts. On the sedan chair, a seductively dressed man was hugging 7 or 8 beauties and drinking wine. Is this the Alchemist Guild? A few people wearing rainbow-colored robes walked forward. Yes, esteemed emissary of the planet of Malau. As a superior 5th-rank alchemist, he would only be respected no matter where he went on this continent. He swaggered down and revealed the emblem on his rainbow-colored robes. The guards at the door were dumbfounded. Why would such a noble person come to our place? Yu Shuyun walked out with a few elders of the Alchemist Guild. Seeing her face covered in white sand, the Malau star suddenly felt that the women who were sleeping on the same bed as him were not fragrant at all. No, it should be said that he was simply eating pig food when he went over. Everyone, this emissary has taken a fancy to you. Today, you will be my wife. Yu Shuyun didn't expect that when she saw a senior expert coming, she would be treated like this. Presumptuous. Presumptuous. The elders of the Alchemist Guild couldn't stand by and watch. They directly channeled their Xian Qi and rushed towards him. Planet of Malau's subordinates laughed in disdain. He had actually completely dissolved the profound energy without making a single sound. How is this possible? What's going on? Planet of Malau laughed. This emissary came this time because I heard that there was a fairy-like woman here. I didn't make a mistake. Since you are unwilling, I will use force. This emissary likes to use force the most, ha ha ha. Chapter 511. Do you think you have the right to touch my woman? Just as Mo Luoxing's hand was getting closer and closer, a thunderous sound rang out. A young man in black suddenly appeared. It's him. Yu Shuyun's eyes were filled with surprise and gratitude. Just now, Ji Yu had only shouted, but she had already channeled her spiritual energy into Mo Luoxing's body. She had directly destroyed the spiritual energy of a few lackeys beside Mo Luoxing. Mo Luoxing's body emitted a rainbow-colored aura. He was a Tongxian realm expert. Ji Yu threw a punch. Mo Luoxing laughed. You want to destroy my aura with just one punch? You're like an idiot. Before he could finish his sentence, the smile on Mo Luoxing's face froze. With a crack, his aura shattered into countless pieces. Ding. Host has thrown a punch. Intermediate Earth rank fist technique, cloud slashing fist technique, 1 by 999 times. Wait, don't kill him. Many messengers walked out from behind. An old man stroked his beard and said, This man is my disciple. Can you let him live? Give me some face. Face. How much is your face worth? Ji Yu said disdainfully. How much is my face worth? Even if you're here, you won't dare to say that. As soon as the old man finished speaking, Mo Luoxing's head fell to the ground. The old men in rainbow robes widened their eyes in shock. You. What about you? You deserve to die for humiliating my woman. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll let you go. The old man was furious. As a superior grade 5 alchemist, did he have to depend on someone else's mood to live? You're also an alchemist. Do you dare to compete with me? This old man was not stupid. He chose to compete with Jiyu on his own strength. If you win, you can take my pill formula. If you lose, you'll have to kowtow 3 times in front of my disciple's grave and destroy your own cultivation. However, if you don't dare, I can accept it. Why don't you just kowtow 3 times? The people nearby all knew of Jiyu's attainments in alchemy, so they couldn't help but feel that the other party was a little idiotic. They were all waiting to see this foreign alchemist make a fool of himself. Jiyu smiled faintly. All right. The foreign alchemist did not bring out his alchemy furnace. Instead, he opened his palm. A ball of fire began to burn on his palm. How is this possible? Following that, under the astonished gazes of the crowd, countless medicinal herbs were thrown into the raging fire. Soon, a faint green light emerged from the pill. It was just a very ordinary pill. Jiyu carefully observed the other party's palm, using her mental power to observe the other party's circulation route. Unexpectedly, the other party did not use a mysterious technique to produce flames. It was as if everything had originated from the jade bottle at the old man's waist. The pill had been formed, but the old man did not stop. Instead, the flame in his hand became even more intense. The radiance of the pill changed again. Jiyu also made her move. She casually threw out an alchemy furnace. Haha, you actually need an alchemy furnace to refine pills. The alchemists of the 7 great empires are only SOSO. However, in just an hour, the pill in Jiyu's hand gave off a faint medicinal fragrance. Everyone present was immersed in the medicinal fragrance. Especially Xiao Jiyu, who could not wait to pounce on the alchemy furnace. This kind of pill was the most fatal attraction to the dragon race. Playing to the gallery, the old man shouted in disdain. The flame in his hand became even more intense. Unexpectedly, at this moment, the alchemy furnace on the field changed. A ray of mysterious light shot into the sky. It was as if there was a strong attractive force, sucking in everything around it. Although the pill in the old man's hand was a supreme-grade pill, it did not have the protection of an alchemy furnace. The mysterious energy on the pill turned into a rainbow light and slowly flew into Jiyu's alchemy furnace. The heavens and earth have changed color. What kind of powerful medicinal pill is this? I didn't expect that there would be someone with such attainments in alchemy. The sky darkened. Jiyu gently patted the alchemy furnace. The lid of the alchemy furnace flew into the sky. A pill glowing with 7-colored light floated in the air. The pill slowly landed in Jiyu's hand. The old man looked at the pill in Jiyu's hand and sat on the ground with a thump. His face was ashen. This old man has seen a lot in his life. But to be able to see such a miraculous pill, even if I die, it will be worth it. Jiyu said indifferently, you admit defeat. The old man and the emissary behind him lowered their heads. We admit defeat. We admit defeat. This old man has pill recipes for you to choose. Who would have thought that this group of alchemists from the outer realm would be so straightforward? In fact, if Jiyu had not killed Moluoxing so straightforwardly, they would have gone crazy and killed him. I don't want anything else. I just want the small jade bottle on your waist. Hearing this, the old man was stunned. He did not expect that the other party could see through what he was using so easily. The old man took the bottle from his waist and handed it to Jiyu with both hands. He did not have the face to stay in the Demon Alchemists Guild anymore. He led the survivors and fled in a sorry state. Yu Shuyun looked at the man in front of her with an infatuated expression. She was saved by him time and time again. Suddenly, Jiyu pulled her into his arms. The surrounding crowd looked at them with envy. This ice beauty was high and mighty in the eyes of others. Only Jiyu could touch her at will. Yu Shuyun blushed and curled up in Jiyu's arms. You're back. Jiyu lifted Yu Shuyun's chin with one hand. This time, I'm here to fulfill my promise. Fulfill his promise? Yu Shuyun did not expect that happiness would come so quickly. Her eyes were filled with joy. It was as if there were only the two of them left in the world at this moment. Seeing that Yu Shuyun lowered her head and did not say anything, Ji Yu smiled. Could it be that you're not willing now? Willing, of course I'm willing. SSS, when has this ice beauty ever acted like this? It's really young Master Ji Yu. Only he can create such a miracle. This time, Ji Yu did not choose to let Xiao Jiyu bring them back. Instead, he rented a carriage and planned to accompany his fiancée on the way back. After leaving the Alchemists' Guild, each person had a carriage. It was like holding a bag of gold and showing off in this land. On Blackwind Mountain not far from here, a sneaky brat knelt in front of the fatty. The person in the hall had a wide body and a fat body. He took a bite of his drumstick and said excitedly, "Another big deal has arrived." Chapter 512. This fatty was originally a general of the Spirit Treasure Empire. He was persecuted by the Prime Minister and was forced to lead hundreds of elite cavalrymen into the Bedlam lands. Hundreds of elite cavalrymen were all at the Tongxian realm. Even so, they were forced out of the Bedlam lands and suffered heavy losses. They had no choice but to become bandits on Blackwind Mountain. They were the most troublesome existence for the local authorities. Xue Buping, who was also the fatty, had a good relationship with the various factions, so no one was willing to touch him. Xue Buping rubbed his big belly. "Brothers, there's work at our door." On the main road, Ji Yu closed his eyes and cultivated his mental power. Yu Shuyun and Xiao Jiyu were lying on Ji Yu's body like kittens. Suddenly, Ji Yu sensed hundreds of Tongxian realm experts lying in ambush on the nearby mountain range. Ding! Host has used soul perception. Soul power obtained experience, 1 by 999 times. Even if the factions within a radius of hundreds of miles were targeting Ji Yu, they would not be able to send so many Tongxian realm experts. Ji Yu chuckled. He looked at Yu Shuyun and said calmly, "A good show is about to start." Then, he whispered into Xiao Gu's ear. Xiao Jiyu laughed evilly, and then disappeared on the spot. The carriage entered a narrow valley. Suddenly, a cloud of dust rose and hundreds of people surrounded the carriage. A soldier on horseback rode forward. "I opened this road and planted this tree. If you pass by, leave behind beautiful women, gold coins, and good herbs." Ji Yu pulled open the curtain of the carriage. "Where are you heroes from?" Ji Yu felt that it was a pity that such a large number of elite soldiers had become bandits. "We are from the Blackwind Mountain." "Cut the crap. Leave behind your money or your head." "I don't think that's appropriate. You should ask your big brother." "Big brother?" The Tongxian realm experts looked at each other. Suddenly, Xiao Jiyu grabbed a fatty and threw him to the ground. "Big brother, how did you fall into their hands?" Xue Buping groaned. Jiyu removed the linen cloth from his mouth that came out of nowhere. "Bastard! Bandits! Shameless scum! Let me tell you, I have countless elite soldiers under my command." Jiyu knocked on Fatty's head, and he immediately became obedient. "You're interesting. You were the ones who set up an ambush for us, but you call us bandits. I'm not convinced. If you have the ability, let me go. I'll definitely fight with you for 7 days and 7 nights. All right." Jiyu had never seen such an interesting person before, so she had Xiao Jiyu release him. Xue Buping looked at Jiyu with suspicion. "Are you really going to let me go?" Jiyu smiled and nodded. Xue Buping immediately turned around and left. It was as if a pair of wind and fire wheels had appeared under his feet. However, before he could run far, a hand suddenly landed on his shoulder. Jiyu had only used a portion of her strength in the cloud extinction palm technique, and Xue Buping fell to the ground. Xiao Jiyu lifted his leg as if she was dragging a toy and dragged him to the front of the carriage. After a long while, Xue Buping finally regained his senses. "Despicable. Shameless. Bandits. Didn't I let you go just now? Let me go." "But you caught me again." "Then what do you want?" "I'm not going. You have to take care of my food and drink. I have nowhere to go. You saw it too. My brothers are all at the Tongxian realm. From now on, you'll be my big brother. Ji chuckled. This person was really interesting. With such a person accompanying her on the road, it would not be boring. Ji's palm strike had completely subdued this group of elite soldiers. Everyone was sincerely convinced that they could follow such an expert. Hence, after packing up, they set off in a grandiose manner. In Chaoyang ancient city, a few guards saw that there were over 100 cavalrymen charging at them with an aggressive aura. They immediately reported. Jiang Zhongtian led everyone out of the city. They saw the word Ji on the carriage. There were very few experts with the surname Ji. Could it be? Ji slowly walked out of the carriage. Shui Buping urged his horse forward and shouted, Ji Gongzi is here. Open the city gates. The soldiers on the city gates took a look. As expected, Ji had returned. They immediately ordered people to open the city gates. The people in the city all looked at the group of soldiers who entered the city. Every one of them was a Tongxian realm expert. Not to mention Ji, who was in the carriage, was a genuine spirit profound realm expert. Jiang Zhongtian looked at Shui Buping and the elite soldiers behind Ji. His eyes were filled with envy. At the same time, he rejoiced. Fortunately, both of his daughters were with him. Ji directly brought Yu Shuyun to the Alchemist Association branch. Under the congratulations of everyone, they set the engagement. When Ji turned 18, it would be the wedding day. The news quickly spread throughout the entire Chaoyang ancient city. Countless young disciples named Ji as their idol, followed by the Jiang sisters. Now, with Yu Shuyun, they were spirit-profound realm experts. What was the peak of life? This was the peak of life. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories,